That is the whistle to get the match underway. City kick off, and they have it on the left-hand side with Lati Fairweather. He goes back to Will Smith, who gets his first touch of the ball. He gives it to Ryan Whitley in his all-green kit. Whitley gives it straight back to Will Smith. Has a York City outfield player ever won as high a number as Will Smith tonight? He is number 37 for York City. If you can think of another player, an outfield player that's won 37 or higher, do let us know at BBC York Sport, 81333 on the text. That could be a York City record. And if you look at some of the numbers that are out there tonight for York City, I doubt there has ever been a York City starting 11 where if you add all those numbers up, I've not added the total yet, but I will do it the half-time. We'll come back with a figure for you. It must be well into the hundreds. We've got a 36, a 37, a 30, a 23 as Messiah Kuya with 11 on his back spreads the ball out to the right-hand side to Dipo Akinyemi near the corner flag. Holds the ball up, waits for a little bit of help in the middle, bursts into the penalty area, goes down the line, tries to get a cross in, wins the deflection. It goes behind. York City have a corner in the opening minute of this game. Going to be taken from the far side of the field. Dan Batty's gone across to take it. And that's a decent start to this game by York City, Ian Dunn.
Yes, I did actually see it from the top of the stand, but I couldn't get past the people.
I was trying not to let on that you weren't here.
I did ever so well, but I am out of breath now, so I do apologise. But a good start from City, very positive.
Batty about to take the corner kick from the far side of the field. Raises both arms. Into the middle it comes now. It's a deep one. Round the back looking for Callum Howe. Callum Howe, a bit of a scramble. He's going to pass it to Letty Fairweather. Back to Howe on the left-hand side of the area. Square ball just outside the area to Ziziba. He sends it across to Batty on the far side. Good position to put a cross in, and it comes now into the middle, onto the head of Akinyemi. He misses it, falls to the edge of the area to Kuya. His first touch isn't the greatest, and Barnet are going to scramble it clear. They now come forward through the centre of the field, looking for the strike for Brunt, who is ordinarily a striker, but is playing on the right-hand side of this three. You ever come across a 3-3-3-1 formation before?
3-3-3-1, no. That's it is a first. It's interesting. Clearly flexible, isn't it?
You would have thought so, yeah. When they have the ball, they'll be pushing forward. There's two wide men, you would have thought, for Barnet.
There was a 3-3-1. It was Ajax, wasn't it?
Was it Ajax?
Ajax played with that, yeah. I'm sure it was the Ajax
Total
way.
football.
Yes.
Whitley down the centre. Kuyar controls on his chest. He could have flicked that on. Then he does flick it on. Sends it round the corner to Marsh. Marsh is going to get there and he's going to try and take on Collins for pace, but Collins has got the better of him. Collins does really well actually there. The man who was sent off when these two sides met at the Hive last season, but he gives away possession to the York City captain, Ryan Fallowfield. He's got the armband again this afternoon. This evening. Siziba to Kuyar to Lati Fairweather. York City's good start continues. Down the line looking for Kuyar. Kuyar's just brushed off it there though. And he loses possession, and Barnet again are able to clear through Hartigan. Onto the head of Will Smith. He gets in front then of Kabamba. No nonsense from Will Smith there. High. He sends that looping forward. Not well cleared this time by Barnet, but Collins is going to shin it clear, and he's got fortunate by finding another Barnet player on the far side of the field. Goes out to Kanu. Idris Kanu plays it down the line for Callum Stead. Stead, the former Kettering striker, came up against York City a couple of years back. Well, City were messing around in National North. We'll say messing around because it looked as though they were at times. They weren't very good, especially when they went away to Kettering. That ball's played aimlessly forward by Barnet, goes behind for a goal kick.
Really?
0-0, BBC Radio York.
Really fast start from York City. I'm saying before the game that it'd be hard to beat, but they've gone at this Barnet side. Clearly Neil Ardley has felt it's probably the best policy tonight is to go at them. So be interesting to see if they can keep it up, whilst also defending that their own penalty box.
Willie gets ready to take the goal kick. The two centre-backs split, and he lays it off to Callum Howe, playing on the right-hand side of those two centre-backs. He plays it long down the middle of the field, looking for Akinyemi. He's beaten to it in the air. Woodyard gets his first touch and finds Akinyemi. Akinyemi, forced wide right again. Tries a little ball across to Marsh. Marsh is going to get it at the penalty area. Oh, it's a terrible touch from Marsh. And he puts it behind. What a ball, though, from Dipo Akinyemi.
Yeah. Well, you're looking at a striker who's a good goal scorer, but his passing it, his range of attacking passes.
That was very similar to the pass he put in for the goal against Southend, but from the opposite flank.
But with the inside of his foot this time, wasn't it? Yeah, he sees things a little bit earlier than others. That was a lovely pass. And to be fair, Aidan Marsh, he probably saw the goal was opening up for him there. He just took a heavy touch. Good start.
Hartigan to Collins. He goes back. Well, I think that was meant actually for Aluo, but his goalkeeper, Laurie Walker, intercepted it. He plays it out to the left-hand side to Akimo. He goes back inside to Aluo. Akimo and Aluo's. Not going to get confused over that, are we? Down the right-hand side to Reece Hall-Johnson. He's pushed forward. Latty Fairweather catches him, not given the free kick. Now he gets a good cross into the box. A deep coming in round the back is Idris Kanu. No one's on him. He's going to come on his right foot. Opens up the angle. Kanu gets the shot. Whitley had to dive, but it was blocked. Shot comes in. That's blocked again by Woodyard. He doesn't know where the ball's gone. And Kanu has it again on the left-hand side. Dangerous from Barnet. Kanu's allowed to turn by Batty. Now he bursts past Batty, just outside the penalty area. Left-hand side. Takes on the shot. Headed away by Callum Howe. And Barnet regained possession at the back. Dangerous couple of moments there for York City.
Yeah, and it's Kanu, isn't it? He's a dangerous player, tricky customer.
Cross comes into the box again, cleared by Callum Howe with that big left foot of his. Batty sends it all the way downfield. And Laurie Walker, former Stevenage goalkeeper, comes up towards halfway to lay it off. To Akimo. Player coach.
Oh,
it's Jerome Akimo. He gives a possession away cheaply. Now Marsh, 2-on-2.
Brilliant.
Akinyemi's through on goal. Inside right, first touch. Can he shoot? Akinyemi digs it over the goalkeeper, and it's in, and he goes.
Oh.
Big Dips is at it again. He gets his 5th goal as a mess at the back from Barnet, but then Marsh played him through, and once Akinyemi was beyond the defender, he knew he was going to score. We knew he was going to score. He does. He celebrates in front of the South Stand. City take the early lead. 6 minutes gone. York City 1, Barnet 0.
What a goal, what a brilliantly crafted goal that was. I mean, when Marsh picks the ball up, his first touch this time was exquisite, and his second touch, the pass, oh my word, that's a Dalglish to Rush. That was a pass that splits open the defence, and then it ends up as if whacking his feet. You just think he's going to score, but how he scored, he's done a Dalglish. He has dinked.
Little dink.
Sorry, I'm referring to the two strikers I know best, but the dink was absolutely sublime. What a goal, what a start.
It was like a little Panenka, but not from the penalty spot.
Yes, yeah, that kind of, yeah, absolutely brilliant. But Marsh, I tell you, Batty actually won the first ball. Batty won the ball in the middle of the park. He's released it to Marsh. Marsh, football brain, really clever move. Just slipped Akinyemi in. Everyone, it was the obvious ball, but he had to do it right, and he did. And what a finish from Dipo Akinyemi. Wow.
Well, early surprise for the bookmakers. That I noticed they had York City at 19-10, so virtually 2-1 to win this game tonight. There's a long way to go, but that is the perfect start for York City as Will Smith gets his head to that long ball into the York City box and clears. Comes back out onto this right-hand side to Hall Johnson to the edge of the area. He's turned away from Woodyard. There's the Barnet man, and then he skies his shot. Should have done better. Zach Brunt turned away from Woodyard though, sold him the dummy rather easily. He should have done better.
It's an opportunity. I won't say it's a chance. It's an opportunity to do better. But City did enough to quell that move. But yeah, this has been a really positive start from York City. And
there's 2 York fans being taken out here by stewards because they're drinking.
Oh heck! Oh my word! Not.
Do you know what? I know one of them. One of them lives just around the corner from me in Wigginton.
They're in for a good night though.
Oh, they're Barnet fans as well.
2 pints each.
I didn't realise he had a Barnet shirt. I didn't know he was a Barnet fan.
He lives in
There are 2 Barnet fans that are
right.
in the York end, and they've both got pints sitting near the front of the stand. They've just been escorted along the touchline and then back under the stand to finish their drinks. Barnet win the duel there in the centre of the field, and Reece Hall Johnson comes forward down the right-hand side. Sorry, Ian?
Should we time them? See how long it takes to drink the 4 pints between them that they've got.
And then they've given away a foul at the back as well. Woodyard does really well, gets himself in between man and ball, and the Barnet player clips his heels. Free kick given to York City. Dean Brennan, the Barnet manager, not happy.
Yeah, I think, without repeating myself from Saturday, David, I think you're going to hear a lot of you saying, and Woodyard's won the second ball, and Woodyard's got his body in between the ball and man. He's that kind of player. He sticks. He just seems to be at the right place at the right time. And you know, early signals are that he is going to be one heck of an asset for York City. It just shows you the level he's played at. He has played a good level, but he's brought it down here as well, which is sometimes difficult to do.
And he's been fouled out. The referee allows play to go on. Somehow manages to chest it down to Zaziba to Akinyemi. Now it's to Kuyao, can drive forward, plays it through to Marsh on this left-hand side. In the penalty area, Marsh is forced away from goal. Gives it back to Kuyao, just takes it off his toes. Kuyao, left-hand side of the penalty area, goes back to Woodyard. Good start this from York City. To Batty. Batty under pressure, gives it to Smith. Smith suggests he's going to go back to his goalkeeper, instead sells a dummy and plays it over the top to Marsh. Can Marsh get there before the goalkeeper? He can't, but again, impressive play from the City.
Yeah, right idea, try and turn that defence. Slightly wide of the goalie, and I think Marsh would have got on the end of that ball from Will Smith.
Goals elsewhere tonight in the Carabao Cup third round. Wolves 1-up at Ipswich. Mansfield 1-up against Peterborough. In the National League, Solihull are 1-up at Hartlepool. Solihull are here at the weekend. They're currently in second place, Barnet in third. That is the only other goal, apart from the one scored by Dipo Akinyemi. Down the left-hand side to Akinyemi again, who feels he's fouled, but then gets immediately back up to his feet when the referee doesn't give the decision. To this left-hand side it comes, to Zach Brunt. Brunt, inside right. Former Sheffield United man, played here last year, I think, for Boreham Wood when he had a loan spell there. Sheffield United sending out all their players on loan. They got so many at times last year.
Yeah, there's a crazy amount at one point. When we went down to Boreham Wood,
that could be York City this year for get rid of everyone.
Oh.
If you missed it earlier on, Ethan Henderson gone out on loan to Atherton Collieries today. Reece Hall-Johnson for Barnet. Back to Danny Collinge. Collinge goes infield to Hartigan. Hartigan across to Akimo. Back to Hartigan. Everyone back behind the ball, though, for York City. This is 15 yards inside their half. That's a good ball out to this right-hand side from Hartigan to Hall-Johnson. Tries to skin Latty Fairweather, gets past him. Managed to put the ball to back post. It's a tap-in. Offside flag goes up, though. But he was beaten far too easy, was Latty Fairweather. Nutmegged on the edge of his area. Thought about bringing him down in the penalty area as well. That would have been a penalty, obviously. He's got away with that one there to the back post. There was a tap-in. And Will Smith just come across to Thierry Latty Fairweather and just tapped him on the backside as if to say, keep going, son.
Yeah.
We know you're beaten that time. Don't let it get to you.
Yeah, he's a young lad whose defensive attributes, he's attacking, good. You know, he's on point. He's defensive, can get better. It will get better. He's got a lot to learn, and there's going to be times when he does get done like that. But he's got away with one, and that's you need that bit of luck as well.
The Barnet manager was fuming there with his two strikers for being offside. There's absolutely no reason for them to be offside that back stick.
That's
There's
good
two
point.
of them. It was literally just a tap-in.
Yeah.
Now they come around the left-hand side. Ball comes in from Carno into the middle. Good header clear by York City, but it's gone straight to a Barnet man, and they've equalised. Good shot from Pritchard. First time edge of the area, right-footed into the top left-hand corner of Ryan Whitley's goal. He could do nothing about it, and it's 1-1.
That's just quality. That is why this Barnet side are up there. We've started off the better of the two sides, but Barnet are dangerous. You can see it, and that finish was equally as impressive as Dippo's. Really, it was one touch. It was awkward, but he's got over the ball. And he struck it into Ryan Whitley's top corner. Ryan didn't have a chance at all there. Could we have defended the second ball a little bit better when it bounced out on the edge of the box? That is something for the analysts to look at, and the video. Such a disappointment after starting so well. It feels like a blow. You feel winded. So City have got to show the resolute side again, like they did on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a decent player as Pritchard as well. He started off his career, I think it was a Blackpool, and some time in the EFL as well with Bradford City before dropping into non-league. He's been knocking around the South East League, Maidenhead, but now has found a home at Barnet, where he's been for a couple of years and doing well for them. City kick off again, 1-1, BBC Radio York. Exciting start to this game. They go back to Walker. Into the centre of the park to Hartigan. Long ball right down the centre of the field. Well defended though by Ryan Fallowfield. Callowhouse there gives it to Whitley and he clears.
Yeah, it's just everyone in the stadium suddenly gone a bit quiet. It's wounded us all, that one. Winded us all to concede so quickly after having taken the lead. But
you winded or you wounded?
A bit of both. Yeah. We've all just got to roll our sleeves up and get on with this. There's a long way to go in this match, a long way to go. And City have certainly started off as Barnet's equals in this, for me, in this first. I'm looking across at the time thing, not working. First 10 minutes.
Yeah, the scoreboard, if you missed it, not in action tonight, as it hasn't been for a couple of weeks. Carno comes forward again down the left-hand side, seeing a lot of the ball over there. He lays it back to his centre-back, Akimo. Back to Carno. Idris Carno, former Peterborough player. Cross comes in from Akimo, deep on round the back. It's too deep, and it goes behind for a goal kick. He's a jack in the box, isn't he, Dean Brennan, down there in that Barnet technical area. You don't want to get on the wrong side of him.
No, he knows what he wants. He's clear to his players. They will understand what he's saying to them. Absolutely. But equally, look at Neil Ardley. He's up telling his troops, or giving his troops instructions. It's good to see. Down
the line from Latty Fairweather to Akinyemi, who's come across the left. Tries to turn away from his man. Tackle comes in on him. Forward to Kabamba. Not mentioned him much, Nicky Kabamba.
Let's hope we don't mention him much more.
They have it again at the back to recycle it to the left-hand side. Across to Akimo. Akimo to Aluwu. They finished the drinking. Did you have your clock on it?
Sorry? Oh, they have. Blooming heck. That's impressive. That's 3.5 pints there.
This guy at the back is a runner. He runs on Haxby Wingington with his British Heart Foundation t-shirt on every single day. Ball down this right-hand side. Deflects off a York City man and goes behind for a corner kick to Barnet. They're first of the game, 1 apiece on corners and 1 apiece on the scoreline.
Yeah, so important. Stating the obvious that City don't get double punched here. Just stay strong again. Back to the plan, really. Nothing much has changed, even though there's been 2 goals scored. The plan will have been, let's be hard to beat and hit Barnet on the break. City did start off quickly, but yeah, start again really here, 1-1.
We've gone short, and it comes now into the middle. Flicks off the head of Akinyemi to the far side. It's going to come back in here, though, again, from Akimo. He gives it to Kanu. Kanu drives at Ryan Fallowfield. Batty comes to help him out, goes to the line, tries to get the cross in. Fallowfield puts the block in, and it goes out for a Barnet throw. Taken short. Back to Adebola Olowu. He sends it towards the York City penalty area, nodded into the centre. Trusted down to the goal scorer, Pritchard. This time his shot slices off his left foot, and it goes well wide of the goal. Still 1-1, BBC Radio York. And we've got 16 minutes on the clock. Oh, we would have if it was working.
Yeah.
16 minutes on my clock.
Yeah, it's been a good start, hasn't it, really? Both sides have had a real go here. I think City have probably had the better of the opening exchanges. It's quietened down a little bit now with the 2 goals gone in. But it's all set up to be a good match. City have just got to keep on doing what they've done for the first quarter of an hour.
Akinyemi's been robbed of it, though, in the centre of the park. It's going to come across to Reece Hall-Johnson, which it does now. It was at Wrexham last season, Hall-Johnson. Didn't see too much game time. Barnet send it across again to Kanu, hugging the left-hand touchline. He now comes in field and once again drives at Ryan Fallowfield. He's got Zaziba back there helping out. Still got it, Kanu. Goes across the face of the area. Good tackle by Ryan Fallowfield. Wins possession back for York City. Needs options in front of him, though. Doesn't have any, so has to put his foot on it. Batty, big ball down the line. And it's headed clear by Barnet. Shame that he just couldn't pick out a pass there, Ryan Fallowfield.
Yeah, there was no one to pass to, I don't think.
There wasn't, but Barnet committed forward, hadn't they?
Yeah, it was just, there was no City player really within a good sight-line of Ryan Fallowfield there.
Your attention, please, from the owner of a car registration HY70.
Well, it's not my car, so that's a good start.
Oh, damn. Sorry, David, I'll be back in 10.
70 Alpha Delta uniform. Please contact your nearest student immediately. Thank you.
Batty clears for York City. He was caught as well as he cleared that, but he hobbles away. He's going to be fine, I think. And Hall-Johnson under pressure from Marsh. Marsh puts the block on him directly in front of us. And the throw-in goes to Barnet.
Obviously very early days, isn't it? But Marsh, he looks sharp. He looks like a real sharp youngster, doesn't he? You know.
Neil Ardley stayed down in London after the game at Woking on Saturday, so he didn't travel back with the team. He came back up to North Yorkshire on the train first thing yesterday morning, and he's brought his winter coat with him by the look of it.
He has. Well, he's a stylish guy, isn't he? He's yeah.
He's not got the grey puffer jacket that we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
No, he'll be. Yeah, he looks the part down there. And obviously he'll have kept away from any bugs that were doing the rounds yesterday, over the weekend, hopefully.
Collins with the throw-in for Barnet. Gets it back. Oh, as he tries to send it across field, it flicks off the head of Akinyemi, and they've got away with that of Barnet, headed back to Laurie Walker. That was dangerous, a bit fortunate for the visitors. Hartigan to Kanu again on the left-hand side. He goes back in field to Hartigan. He's on a season-long loan from Mansfield Town. Looking to break into their side, but they're going really well in League Two at the start of this season. And Mansfield Town fed all the way back to Ryan Whitley to clear. 1-1 BBC Radio York. 19 minutes gone between York City and Barnet.
Imagine if his first name was Alf.
Deary me.
At that point you're meant to say the name, but you've read it like an abacus.
Different day of the week, but the same nonsense.
It's free. It all comes with me. It's a package. Oh dear. See, I'm laughing at my own little joke.
And someone has to.
This is it. If I didn't laugh at myself, I would have a very quiet audience.
The referee giving a free kick, because he's just making sure that Barnet don't steal too many yards on the throw-in on this near side. Hall-Johnson.
Because how many people at home have read that name out? It's in their heads right now.
Infield to Brunt, intercepted by Lati Fairweather. He's got past Hall-Johnson. Now he comes forward down this left-hand side. Hall-Johnson's done really well, though, to get back in position. Oh, the referee's pulled it back, saying there was a foul first on Lati Fairweather, and he's going to book him.
That's
Well, that's a
interesting.
bit of, he's saying it got away from me. It's definitely not a booking.
That's a classic. It's a foul. It's not a yellow card, really. But
City won't complain.
No.
Reece Hall-Johnson goes into the book, but
No.
you Amber Yui, and that's not a yellow card.
no, it's a foul. Foul. Give the foul and get on with it. So, but there you go. Maybe he's just laying a marker down. The referee. He's saying he's not going to stand for that this evening. So that's a warning to everyone, City players included.
Woodyard right in front of Neil Ardley, gives it to Kuyard, puts Kuyard under pressure, and Kuyard just robbed of it. That was a silly free kick, and then Woodyard brings his man down. Free kick to Barnet. And Barnet bench want Woodyard to be booked. Dean Brennan's got to be careful, otherwise he'll be booked.
After having just given the Latifera the Barnet player a booking, that wasn't a booking either, by the way. It was just
No, it
a
wasn't.
foul.
I agree.
Just a foul. The tackle.
It was a silly free kick from Woodyard. I don't know what he was doing.
No, I think he maybe got a rush of blood to the head, to be honest. Kuyard comes short without ever really intending, I think, to get it. He was probably trying to create a bit of a space over the top. And, Woodyard's passed it short to Kuyard and put him in the muck.
Forward. Flicked off ahead of Kabamba, cleared by Fallowfield. Looking for Akinyemi. Akinyemi's beaten to it by Pritchard, the goal scorer. Forward to Fallowfield, who intercepts. And he has it again for York City. Oh, terrible pass as he tries to find Woodyard. Left-hand side. Chased on the shot does Pritchard. Falls to Kanu inside the penalty area. One of York City players slips. It's Zebra into the middle. Great header clear by the new man Smith. Comes back again to Pritchard. Takes on his shot. It's blocked. Barnet still have it though. City struggling to clear their lines. On this right-hand side. Collinge, he's going to put a ball in. It's deflected. Oh, Woodyard's given it away in the penalty area. Under pressure, the Barnet man. Woodyard can't really force him out, but he does out wide. He's fortunate. A little bit more pressure. The Barnet man could have gone down looking for the penalty there. Would it have been given? Who knows? Reece Hall-Johnson has it instead. He puts the ball into the box. Deep one onto the head of Idris Kanu, and Ryan Whitley's going to be able to gather. Bit of a mess, that.
Yeah, it was. It all started. It was Woodyard just gave the ball away a little bit cheaply.
Look at this ball downfield from Whitley, trying to set Kuyar away, but Kuyar's not going to beat the player coach over there. Akimo's going to get there first, and he gives it back to his goalkeeper. And into the middle it goes to Hartigan, back to Akimo. Barnet 2 trying to play out. 1-1.
Yeah.
Laurie Walker has it again.
Testing moment for City there, David. It was just all very scrappy. Thankfully, Barnet were a little bit scrappy in possession themselves.
To Hall-Johnson, the man who got that early yellow card. Collinge. Back to Aluwu. To Akimo. Puts his foot on it, and on halfway goes back to his centre-back partner. And then to Collinge. Collinge into the centre circle. Brennan, look at him bellowing out. That'd drive me absolutely mad if I was one of the Barnet players.
Yeah, they'll be used to it, but they'll know that they have to listen to him.
At the back, it goes to Collinge. Kuyar trying to put press on.
Brennan's trying to run every move and go through every play with his players.
Look at him again.
Yeah.
He's furious because they've given the ball away into touch on this near side.
Yeah.
And he's having a go again at the referee. He likes to moan.
He's kicking every ball. He looks like that kind of man who just kicks every ball. Even the bad ones.
Lottie Fairweather throwing at halfway. He's going to have to get a move on here though.
Yeah.
Lottie Fairweather takes it to Woodyard.
No,
Put a touch from Woodyard. Lottie Fairweather does really well to control it, and then he's fouled. Again, Brendan not happy with the decision. Free kick taken quickly. Woodyard goes back to Smith. Smith back to Woodyard. Got to be careful here. Woodyard's lost possession again. He's just off it a little bit so far as Alex Woodyard.
He made that first mistake and he's not recovered from it just yet.
And Barnet have got it just at the edge of the box. Kabamba, he tried to feed it across. It was intercepted by Batty. And again, Brennan's throwing his arms around.
He wouldn't have done that, Brennan, would he? He wouldn't have
He'll
done
be
that.
in the book before the night's out. That's one of my predictions for tonight.
Yeah.
Akinyemi turns his man. And he gets the better of Hall-Johnson as well. Gives it to Lati Fairweather. Infield again to Woodyard. Woodyard to Siziba, who's not been involved at all. Kuyar to Batty. Batty to Smith. Will Smith to Lati Fairweather. Kuyar, little triangles of play on halfway. to Akinyemi on the left. It just skips past his man in one touch. Round the back, got down Collins if he wasn't there. Akinyemi needs to put a decent ball into the box. Tries to pick out Ziziba, couldn't get his first touch right. He's going to lay it off to the far side to Fallowfield. His first touch wasn't great, and Barnet have done really well. They've got a man who's backtracked and followed him all the way back there, Callum Stead. But he gives away possession. Cross comes into the box, headed away by Barnet. It was great play again by Deepo Akinyemi.
Outstanding, outstanding. He's sent this lad for a fish, chips, scraps and gravy. The lot. It's just
What
on
does
a
he have to do to
sixpence.
get the curry sauce?
Well, you've got to be a very special player to get the curry sauce. It's a very special turn. But no, he has, hasn't he? He's absolutely kippered him. And then even the pass, it was a good pass back to Ziziba. Just couldn't quite get it out of his feet, Ziziba there.
This is no place for fish puns, Ian.
Sorry.
Into midfield to Hall Johnson. Back to Collins.
It's good stuff, isn't it? It's good stuff from City when they're attacking.
It's intermittent though, isn't it, at the minute?
It is, but you know when you've got a player like Akinyemi, you know something can happen.
But the defending now, Carno run down that left-hand side into the penalty area. York City man goes to ground, looking for a penalty there. Carno, it was Fallowfield, not given. Brennan thinks he should have had a penalty. No surprise there.
He went to ground quite early there, Ryan Fallowfield, but the fact that he did left him on the ground, and it was as if
the player then just fell over him.
Yeah, he sort of ran into the sprawling body.
You near the south stand again, getting behind their team.
They've recovered.
1-1.
They've recovered from that goal. Get behind the team again. But they're giving them something to shout about as well. You know, there's a feeling about the place that City are at least competitive. And when that ball gets up front, we've got two lads up there, in particular Akinyemi, who's just outstanding.
Given away again though by York City in midfield. It was Ziziba who gave that away. Now they come forward down that left-hand side with Stead. Left-hand side, he comes into the penalty area, or skips past Callum Howe, but his touch lets him down. Then he clatters into Ryan Whitley. Left his foot in, it seemed a little bit there. What's the referee going to do? Whitley's going to be fine. It may just be a talking to. Sorry, was it Nketiah who absolutely clattered into the Tottenham goalkeeper, but only got a yellow card the other day?
Yeah, I mean, VAR looked at it 55 times.
You don't need to look at it once to know it was a red card.
Yeah, exactly. The referee could have made the decision. It was incredible.
He just has a word with Stead. Whitley's up, he's fine, and gets ready to take the goal kick. Or the free kick, sorry. Rory Watson was straight up there to do a bit of warming up. The York City substitute goalkeeper.
Desperate to make his debut for his hometown club.
Hometown, home city, Ian.
Wow, it's
You're
a
better
saying.
than that.
It's a saying.
You're
It's a saying. Home City isn't really a saying, is it?
No, it's not. Akinyemi to Ziziba. Falls again to Akinyemi. Gets it back out to Ziziba, right hand side of the penalty area. Ziziba comes into the penalty area, goes down the line, takes on the shot across the face of goal, takes a little nick off the goalkeeper. I think it's a decent save. Not sure whether it was going on target or not, but he puts it behind for a corner kick.
I think Ziziba's just given it a chance, hasn't he? Just drilled it across the face of the goal, towards the goal. I think the keeper had to pull the save off. If he hadn't, I've got a funny feeling Aidan Marsh was on the end of that. If the keeper hadn't touched it, City get a corner.
Batty comes across to get the ball. The ball girls, I think they are, from Stamford Bridge. She wasn't sure where that ball disappeared to there for some reason. It was pointed out to her. And now Batty gets ready to take the corner. Ball just in the quadrant on this near side, and it comes now into the middle, onto the head of a Barnet man. It's going to come back out here to Batty. Batty wins the header, and then, loses the header, but wins the tackle to get the ball back. But Collins is back there, and they play it back to their goalkeeper, and he clears downfield to Carnu. Fallowfield, back to Carnu. York getting men back. Will Smith does really well to get back into position. Is he going to give a possession away here? He's going to foul Carnu on the linesman on this near side. Says it's a foul by the Barnet man. It's a free kick to York City. Well, I don't know how he's got that decision.
Yeah, well, up until that little bit moment there, Will Smith did ever so well. I think he's got the foul wrong way around.
You know what? Yeah, the referee's given it to Barnet, hasn't he?
Yeah, Will Smith. Neil Hard is arguing that he did give it to us, but it wasn't. Will Smith fouled the Barnet player. But he did well defensively initially, Will Smith there, but he had nowhere to go. Barnet closed him down ever so well.
Yeah, Neil Adler's not happy with the decision because the linesman clearly gave the foul to York City. It was right in front of him, but I think the referee has eventually got the right decision. It was a Barnet.
Yeah, you can't argue it. The right decision has come about. So
Hartigan gets ready to take the free kick near the corner flag. And it comes now into that York City penalty area. It's a deep one around the back. Oh, and the Barnet man's flashed it well wide of goal. Coming around the back. So one of the defenders, Akimo, should have done better. Only deflects it away from the goal.
He should have done, but City's defenders, there was enough bodies in there. They did enough to put Akimo off. It looks like a bad miss, but I think actually just the presence of the City players did enough
Ardley's really unhappy here with the fourth official, Jamie Rhodes.
But for changing his mind, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For that free kick.
But it didn't count at the end, so
All good.
all good. All's well that ends well for York City. Reece Johnson wins that header, intercepted by Lati Fairweather for York. Back out defending, gives it to Smith.
Oh,
Smith
that's
over the
good.
top again, looking for
go
Akinyemi.
on.
Akinyemi's got around the back. Just has to wait for the ball to arrive. He's too quick for the ball there, Akinyemi. Now he drives into the box. Collins trying to show him down the line. He does. Goes to the back post. Oh, all the way across goal. 3 or 4 yards. Just needed a tap in. There was no one there.
Brilliant. It's brilliant play from a striker to do that. He's beat his man again with ease. Let's be really honest, with ease. And he's done the right thing. He's got to the bar and he's crushed it across. And
He was showing him down the line was Collins as well, wasn't he? 'Cause he knows he
Yeah.
wants to get back in on his right foot.
yeah, and the ball has agonisingly just gone right across the face of the goal. All it needed was someone to gamble on that. And it'd be a goal for nothing. Again, great play from Dipo Akinyemi.
He's told him to just drop off a bit. So Dean Brennan could hear it from here. Danny, drop off a bit. Because he's getting tight to Akinyemi, and Akinyemi's just turning him.
And I think if he drops off, I think Akinyemi will then have time on the ball to take him on.
Collins into the middle of the park it goes.
Of course,
Now Dink down this right-hand side to Hall Johnson, round the back, near the dead ball line, trying to get across in, has to hold the ball up under pressure from Mas Kouyaté. Oh, he's allowed the cross to come in somehow, and it's headed away by Callum Howe in the middle. That was dangerous. I don't know how Kouyaté's let him get across in there. That was a forward-thinking player who didn't really want to be back out helping his defence.
I think it absolutely nailed on, yeah. Did not want to be there.
They have it on halfway with Hartigan.
City got some defending to do here. They're just getting quite a bit of possession, Barnet, in the last few minutes. They're building their moves quite cleverly.
13 minutes to go in this first half. Still 1-1, BBC Radio York. Akinyemi's opening goal on 7, equalised by Pritchard 5 minutes later. Hall Johnson into the centre of the field to Akimo. Akimo sends it out to Kanu on the left-hand side. Kanu goes back to Akimo. Into the middle to Hartigan. Aluo comes forward now. Gives it to Collins. Collins on the right-hand side. Chipped ball into the centre of the park, headed away by Batty, and he finds Siziba. Siziba, what can he do? Don't lose it, shouts the gentleman behind us, and he didn't. He gives it to Ryan Fallowfield. Then it's a ball down the line, looking for Aidan Marsh, putting pressure on the Barnet defender. The defender does well, though, to give it back to his goalkeeper. Well, you give it back to his goalkeeper in between the sticks there.
Tested
You're
him.
supposed to give it back to him wide of the goal, aren't you? In case the worst happens, it only goes for a corner. But he dealt with it well, did Laurie Walker.
There's a bit of a bobbler as well.
A bobble on this pitch, Ian.
Well, yeah, he managed to find the pass.
Lati Fairweather goes down, the press from Hall Johnson, nothing given by the referee. Now they brace forward to the visiting team, but they've lost out possession at the edge of the York City penalty area, and Siziba has it. Poor ball forward, looking for Marsh, intercepted by the Barnet defence, and they go back again to their goalkeeper, Hartigan. Good ball out to Idris Kanu on that far side. Kanu plays it further forward for Callum Stead. Stead cross into box, right-footed. It's a deep one. There's no one there apart from Lati Fairweather. That's not a great header clear though by the former Burton man. And Hall Johnson now on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Dinked across back. He comes to Hall Johnson. Still the tackle not come in. Shot comes in, takes a little deflection, and Ryan Whitley gets there before Nicky Kabamba.
Again, Barnet building patiently, working through the lines. They're getting some good football in there, in a congested area. Very good on the ball.
Whitley gets ready to clear. His 8th game in goal for York City this season. Still only his 34th appearance. I should say Ryan Fallowfield, I'm not sure if the club realised, but he's got the captain's armband, and what is his 50th appearance for York City this evening?
That seems to have got them 15 quickly, hasn't he? But I suppose if you play a season, you're going to get them.
Neil Ardley not happy there as York City give away possession. He throws his water bottle down onto the turf.
Well, I think he knows how important it is not to give Barnet too much possession, or certainly not to give it to them too easily, because it could be a few minutes before you see the ball again.
Collins to Hartigan. To Hall Johnson. Back to Hartigan. Plays it forward to Collins, who's run forward. That's well intercepted this time. Kouyaté did track the run on this occasion. We'll see more of Mas Kouyaté in the defensive third than the attacking third. Akinyemi wins a throw-in for York on halfway. And he takes it, or pretends as though he's going to take it quickly to Marsh, and then just drops it and leaves it to Lati Fairweather. He gives it to Woodyard. Woodyard to Batty. Batty, calm and composed under pressure, goes back to Will Smith. Smith to Whitley. That was between the sticks as well, as Smith gave that back to Whitley.
Oh, yeah.
Almost given away on the far side of the field by York City. And because their possession of the pass wasn't the greatest, they just hack it clear and give back possession on halfway. Tackle comes in from York for Batty. Gives it to Marsh. Into midfield to Batty. Feeds it out well to Smith. Smith to Woodyard. He's got a bit of space if he can turn. And he does to Akinyemi, who's touched for him. Surprisingly lets him down.
Correct his item.
It was. Will Smith, that's a nice calm and composed header. So far so good from Will Smith. Not put a foot wrong. You wouldn't know that he's hardly played this season. Woodyard's under pressure, having his shirt pulled. You can see all of his back there as his shirt's pulled.
A superb play from Will Smith.
Will Smith does well to clear long down the line. Akinyemi can't win the header, but puts enough pressure on the man. And is it going to be picked up by Marsh? It's not. Barnet have it at the back, and they clear through Kanu, who was helping out, and he just hoisted that long all the way through to Ryan Whitley. It remains 1-1 on BBC Radio York as we enter the final 9.5 minutes of this first period. Whitley clears out of his hands long, looking for Marsh. Marsh lays it off into midfield to Siziba. He gives it to Fallowfield. Back to Siziba. Turn, you had time. He went back instead to Batty. Woodyard. Howe. Batty. Back to Howe. Howe then steps forward. Decides to put his foot on the ball. High line from Barnet's defence. Plays it down the line instead for Kuyar. Kuyar's not going to get there though. He doesn't. And Barnet get possession back relatively cheaply. Across this near side it comes to Hall Johnson. He's going to run at Latty Fairweather. Could just knock it past him and take him on in a foot race if he wanted to there, but instead he decides to go back to Collinge. Collinge to Hartigan. Hartigan to Hall Johnson again. He's going to take on Latty Fairweather. Allows him to cut in field. Ball to the edge of the area to Pritchard. He's got room out on the left hand side for Kanu. Can Kanu keep it in play? He can't. It goes behind for a goal kick. It was a nice move from Barnet. I think Latty Fairweather's going to have to get tighter to his man on this near side. Yeah,
that's what's happening. It's moving defenders around, and players are sort of trying to cover a little bit for Latty Fairweather, and then other gaps appear, and that's exactly what happened there. It started up down this sort of left side, City's left side, and all the players came across, and of course the ball in the end went out of the park, but gaps are just opening up for Barnet. City got to tighten those gaps up.
City again playing out from the back. Whitley to Howe, to Fallowfield, to Sizibra, who's back in his defensive third, gives it back to Whitley. He comes across this left-hand side this time to Smith. Smith gets past Kabamba, comes into midfield, gives it to Woodyard. Woodyard to the right-hand side to Fallowfield. Fallowfield into the centre to Marsh. Great first touch from Aidan Marsh. In fact, it wasn't the greatest. It looked at it at first, but he gives away possession. Woodyard's turned, and Barnet in the white and purple shirts come across this near side again to Hall Johnson. Over halfway he goes. Cuts in field, back into the centre circle to Hartigan in the bright orange boots. He's got loads of room there if he wants to pick out a pass. Yeah. Gives it to Pritchard, who drops deep. And then he goes to Akimo on the far side of the field. To Kanu.
These are a clever team, aren't they? The way they're moving the ball around, they're moving City's players around. City have just got to try and stay firm, try and stay in it, and let Barnet play a little bit, because at the moment they can try all they like, they just can't get the ball back off them.
Kuyar goes with the tackle, misses it. Misses Hall Johnson as well as he goes for a return ball. Gets back in though, well does Maz Kuyar, but we want to see him in the other end of the field again.
He can't get out.
He can't get out, Maz Kuyar.
We're under so much pressure that we're so deep that when we do actually win the ball, there's nowhere to go, and we lose it again, and then the wheel goes round again for Barnet. They keep the ball.
Whitley to Siziba, another man not really being involved. He's done well to get away from his man this time. He tries to feed it through to Akinyemi. It's a poor pass though from Siziba. If he'd fed it through the two centre backs, Akinyemi was through on goal again from this left hand side.
Yeah, his end product there, Siziba, would be really angry with himself, because he did really well to get into that position, and his pass just let him down. Now
it's allowed a long diagonal from Barnet that lets them down. It goes into touch in front of the empty seats right at the far end of the west stand, and that's a throw into York City deep inside their own half, which they take quickly. Howe across there, it goes to Fallowfield. He plays it long down the line looking for Akinyemi, but it's not going to reach its target. Cut out by Barnet. A little trip as well from Marsh, but the referee allows play to go on because the visitors keep hold of possession. At the back with Akimo. He's going to come across to Collinge. Collinge is able to come forward, just drifts over halfway to Hall Johnson. Still 1-1. BBC Radio York. Just over 5 minutes to go in this first half. Hall Johnson back again to Aluo this time. Now to Akimo. Across to Carney. Kanu, little ball in field, but intercepted by York City. Sisiva gives it to Batty. It was good interception by Batty. He goes to Woodyard. Woodyard looks left. Gives it to Kuyar. Kuyar to Fallowfield. Just over halfway. Back to Kuyar. Kuyar goes back to Batty. Back to Fallowfield. Back to Batty. York are going to be pushed all the way back here. And Batty has to come across this near side to find Will Smith, who's in a bit of space. Smith forward to Akinyemi on this left-hand side. He holds it up on halfway. Almost loses possession as Akinyemi. Then he's tackled. He does lose possession. And Barnet have it back. Maybe just asking a little bit too much of himself there, Dipo Akinyemi.
Yeah, and there's two men around him. He had nowhere to go, really, once the ball was played into his feet. And that's how it's a sign of a good team that Barnet play in possession. They're excellent. Out of possession, the work rate is fantastic.
Akinyemi's not happy, though, again, that Hall Johnson, as he gets the ball on this right-hand side, has got too much space. He cuts in field. Latty Fairweather slips. Goes back, though, to Pritchard. Chemo. Ball forward to Stead. He goes down looking for a free kick. Not given, because it's picked up by Carnu. Collinge. Hartigan. Yeah, they're having a lot of possession of Barnet as this half's gone on.
Yeah.
Ball going to touch for a throw-in.
Yeah, I expected to see a tough... This was always going to be a tough game. These are a good team. They're up there for a reason. And they're showing us that reason right now. But City are standing strong. You know, they haven't breached the defence too often, for as much as the football's looked good. Actually, City's defensive side of things has been a little bit impressive, to be honest. As long as they can hold out, get to half-time and see what the gaffer's got to say.
Hartigan cross into the box. Yeah, Kabamba's not been involved so far, which is good for York City. Yeah. Marsh can't keep hold of that. He looks a little bit frustrated as well. And City get everyone back again behind the balls. Barnet have it on the centre spot. Chemo. Aluo. Hartigan. He's going to send it out to that left-hand side. Is it overhit? No. Stead gets his head to it and somehow manages to find Carnu. Back to Chemo. Carnu. He goes back to his defender. They're quite happy just to pass it around as well, aren't they, Barnet? It's two teams who are trying to pass it around.
Yeah, and it's almost like a game of chess. Can they find the gap?
Collinge sends it down this right-hand side, but Hall Johnson slips. Picked up by Latty Fairweather. Gives it to Kuyar. Kuyar back to Latty Fairweather. First time down the line for Akinyemi, but he can't do anything with the defender right up his back, and then he fouls the...
It's funny, though, isn't it? He did exactly what the Barnet defender had done to him a fraction of seconds earlier, and yet Collins goes down and gets the free kick.
Which he takes right in front of Dean Brennan. Aluo. Hartigan. Chemo. Barnet again knocking it around at the back from left to right to Collinge. Collinge goes in field to Brunt. Hartigan.
Been impressed with Hartigan, you know.
Did ball over the top for Reece Hall Johnson. Intercepted just about by Latty Fairweather. Got a bit of luck there as his pass was nearly intercepted. Took a nick off the Barnet man, but went to a red shirt. Forward to Akinyemi, just brushes off his man, this left-hand side. Now he's going to burst towards the penalty area. Takes the man on, Collins round the back. Deep Akinyemi then throws himself to ground, very soft, never going to be given, and he goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he just ran out of idea.
He didn't know what to do, did he?
Yeah, he got into that area, and he's always just swing your left foot and see what happens. But he got a little bit of he felt the arm and went down. It's not a penalty. The referee's got it right, but again, threatening from Akinyemi when he gets on that ball.
He's clearly the star man.
Yeah, you hear the crowd as well when he gets on the ball. There's a gasp. They're expecting something.
That's a good ball out to Carnu on the far side from Hartigan.
Again.
He goes infield to Stead, who turns away from Callum Howe. Run through and goal in the penalty area, and he slips as he gets into the penalty area. The referee appeals for a penalty from Barnet. He's laughing, he's Dean Brennan, but he completely slipped and he's up. So I don't know what Brennan's moaning about.
No
but he sold Callum Howe. He turned him really easily in the penalty area. Great play from Stead.
Yeah,
just couldn't keep his foot in.
Really good football. And I'm just saying, Hartigan, he's clearly their player. He gets on the ball, he's pinging it left and right. He's a classic centre midfield playmaker.
Back to the left-hand side it goes to Carnu.
There we go again, watch.
To Hartigan. Centre of the field, dictating play.
Yeah,
he gives it to Collinge. Collinge to Brunt. Hall Johnson. Back to Collinge. Back to Brunt. Latty Fairweather dragged out of his position. Now they come forward down the centre of the field. Back to Collinge it goes. Brunt, dink ball to the back stick, headed into a really dangerous position there from Ryan Fallowfield, verge onto the penalty spot. Not sure what he was thinking about, but he got away with it because there was a York City man there to clear.
It's almost like it hits his head, doesn't it? He couldn't seem to get his neck around the ball. came off at a funny angle, but unfortunately right into the middle of the box.
35 seconds to go, and then we're going to see the board. Dean Brennan's not happy with whatever's being put on the board, or is going to be put on the board. But he's not happy with anything down there tonight. So that's no real surprise. Barnet have it in the centre of the park. Stead again. Gives it to Kabamba. Oh, he's got man running off in front. Kabamba's allowed some space. Caused down by Smith. And now it comes to Hall. Johnson. Shot comes in. Deflects. And York City are going to clear. Oh, but they're giving away possession. Batty's giving away possession cheaply as he tried to find Kuyar. Hall Johnson. Hey! Tries to put the cross in. He takes a fresh air kick. That was comedy. It's 2 minutes. It goes up on the board.
I thought he was doing a trick cross there. You know, they sometimes do that. That was poor lad. That was humiliating for him. You do not want to shout at the referee and linesman, young man. Just get back in and hide your blushes.
As if he tried to do a step over when it was when it really it was. He tried to do a cross and completely missed it, and then slipped over the ball as it went past him. Yeah. Went past his standing foot.
It was either the most elaborate trick, or he's just got it absolutely
That was
wrong.
Comedy.
Yeah,
that was comedy. Red faces all round.
Yeah, that was funny.
Latty Fair with the throw-in down the line. So you have 2 minutes shown on the board. Akinyemi turns it down, takes it down really well, then sends it out to the right-hand side. Can Fallowfield keep it in play? He can. Fallowfield bursts down the right-hand side. City trying to get men into the box. He plays it down the line to Siziba. He's on his heels, though, Siziba.
Yeah, but it was wrong decision from Fallowfield.
It was. Kanu intercepts for Barnet.
Yeah, there was another. He had three or four options there, and for me, he got the wrong one there.
Not a great clearance though.
No.
Gives it to Latty Fairweather. He plays it down the left-hand side, this time to Kuyar. Kuyar's allowed to turn. Latty Fairweather provides an overlapping run. Kuyar infield to Akinyemi, who's forced deep. Goes back to Woodyard. Back to Akinyemi. There was two hands in his back, but he stays on his feet. Batty forward to Kuyar. Kuyar needs options. Gives it to Latty Fairweather. He needs options. Goes down the line, tries to get past his man. He could have done there, but then he sort of tripped over himself as well, so has to hold on to the ball. Kuyar. Back to Woodyard. City forced back though, and they're going back all the way to halfway. Ball around the corner for Batty. Gives away possession. Oh, not a very good clearance from Hartigan. Picked up by Marsh. Marsh can't get there, and it's headed back to the Barnet goalkeeper.
Yeah,
scrappy.
It was scrappy, but City were keeping the ball well. You know, it wasn't all the roads seemed to be blocked.
Kanu bursts forward. 15 seconds to go. The 2 minutes of injury time. Intercepted by Callum Howe at the back. He puts it into touch. On halfway. In fact, has it gone in? It has gone into touch. And the referee says that'll do. It finishes 1-1 at half-time. Dipo Akinyemi, great finish on 7 minutes, dinking the ball over the goalkeeper from the right-hand side on the angle. Gave York City the lead. Pritchard, just 5 minutes later, sent the ball high into Ryan Whitley's top left-hand corner. That was a good finish from him as York City failed to clear the ball. Which means at half-time it's 1-1, which is probably a fair scoreline, although Barnet have had the majority of possession, Ian Dunn.
They've had a lot of possession without really hurting us. I think that's credit to our defensive unit as a team, as a 4-4-2, as a team. They're defending really well. They'll have to do a lot more in the second half to make sure they don't concede again. But real positive signs for York City for me. This looks like a team that has an idea of what it's trying to be.
Just watch Dean Brennan here. He's loitering on the edge of that technical area, waiting for the officials. He's got his arms crossed. Looks that could kill.
He's waiting for his yellow card, I think.
He's waiting for the referee. And he's pointing at someone, but he's having a word with his defender as well. But to be fair, I think he's just waiting for his last two players to come off before making his way down the tunnel there.
I think he was saying to his defender every word that he wanted the referee to hear there, without saying it to the referee.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. 1-1 at half-time, Sharon, but it was an entertaining first half here at the LNER Community Stadium.
Thanks, Ian and David. They're back for the second half, of course, on BBC Radio York. If you've anything to say after that first half, we'd love to hear from you. You can text us on 81333. Start your message, please, with the word York. Likewise, on WhatsApp, if you're messaging us that way, please start it with the word York and send it to 08000 321 333. Or you can just tweet us at BBC York Sport, where it really doesn't matter what you start your messages with. Let's look at the scores then, the latest and half-times from across the countries. Let's start off with the Women's Nations League first. It's 1-1 between Netherlands and England. That game kicked off at 7 o'clock. Scotland 0, Belgium 0, just coming up to half-time, and Wales 1, Denmark 2. Northern Ireland 1, Albania 0 completes all the home nations for you in that competition. In the EFL Cup third round stages, Bradford 0, Middlesbrough 1, Exeter 0, Luton Town 0, Ipswich 2, Wolves 2, Mansfield 1, Peterborough 1, Port Vale 0, Sutton 0, Salford 0, Burnley 3, and Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0. That's after half an hour play in that one. In the EFL Trophy, after 70 minutes, it's Northampton 2, Chelsea under-21s 2. Bolton 4, Manchester United under-21s 0. Barnsley 2, Manchester City under-21s 1. Burton Albion 2, Everton under-21s 0. Into the National League then, all these nearly half-times, if not there already. Fylde 1, Boreham Wood 1. The latest is Aldershot 1, Southend 0. Bromley 1, Eastleigh 0. Ebbsfleet 0, Dorking 0. Halifax 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. Hartlepool 0, Solihull Moors 2. Kidderminster 0, Oldham 1. Maidenhead 0, Altrincham 0. Oxford City 0, Gateshead 1. Wealdstone 1, Woking 0. York City 1, Barnet 1. And a latest score is Rochdale 1, Chesterfield 2. That's showing after just 35 minutes playing that one. Rochdale 1, Chesterfield 2. I assume it was an 8 o'clock kickoff. Didn't clock that earlier, but if it is, there you go. That's your latest score. A couple of North Yorkshire sides in action as well. In the Northern Counties East League Premier Division, Pickering Town are at home to Golcar United. They are leading by 2-0, and that's the same scoreline in Division 1. Harrogate Railway leading at home to Clare Cross Town, also by 2-0. It's Tuesday night sport here on BBC Radio York. It's 24 minutes to 9.
BBC Radio York.
Autumn, when it rains cats and dogs, when there are leaves on the line, and when there are 4 seasons in just one day. But you can't find your big warm coat.
A lovely start to the day. It's going to be lots of sunshine out there this morning.
Malton to Scarborough across the North York moors, where it'll be raining on and off for the next couple of hours.
Breezy along the coast, but the winds will be relatively light elsewhere.
It's going to brighten up quite nicely with a good deal of sunshine.
We're here so you know what's happening.
That's the forecast for BBC Radio York.
So 1-1 at half-time in our football this evening. York City against Barnet. Second half commentary to come here this evening on BBC Radio York. A little earlier today, day 1 of Yorkshire's County Championship match came to a close at Headingley against Worcestershire. The visitors are batting 280 for 5 is what they closed on. We will, of course, see if there's any play tomorrow because the forecast doesn't sound brilliant, does it? But Worcestershire 280 for 5 at the close of play on day 1. Well, in Yorkshire's side was someone that we've really not seen much of at all this season, Matt Milnes. He's had a long-term back injury, and afterwards he caught up with Jonathan Doidge, asked him what it was like to be back.
It's been a long time coming. It's been a long 6 months or so. A lot of physical work and certainly a lot of mental challenges. So, yeah, I mean, to be back out there before the end of the season was one of my goals, and, yeah, it's nice to be back.
I mean, it'd be great for you to explain to us the sort of stuff you do, because we see you play that first game of the season. We know about your injury. I know you've talked to us a little bit in commentary previously, but to all intents and purposes, the spectators turn up, they see you play one game, they don't see you for months, and then you come back at the end of it all. And they might think it's a fairly simple, straightforward process. What is it like? What have you been doing?
To be honest, it sort of has phases to it. I mean, the first phase is not too much, to be honest. You can't do too much. And then the last sort of month I've been playing in the twos. The month before that I'd been bowling off a full run in the nets and stuff. And before that it's just a big progression. So like the last 3 weeks have felt really good. It's probably I didn't get that chance before in April, obviously for obvious reasons. So I think having that 3 weeks in the bank hopefully has put me in a good place. And yeah, felt good last 3 weeks.
And has there been any times during that whole period of what is effectively 6 months where you've had a little niggle, you've thought, oh, not again, or has it been all, steady progress back to this point?
Yeah, like some days it's stiffer than others. You just got to sort of accept it and maybe work around it. But as I said, last 3 weeks I've got sort of 30 overs a week, which I bowled pretty nicely, so I've been pretty happy with where I've been at. And as I said, my target was always to come back for one of the last 2 and hopefully a promotion push. But obviously, sadly, that's not going to happen. But still, to be back is really good.
And I guess from your point of view, this game, yeah, of course, you want to go out there and grab fifers and score runs, but ultimately, it's to get your body from A, day 1, to B, day 4, without any issues?
100%. Obviously, a few wickets would be nice. But at the end of the day, I just said, at the start of the game, I said I'm going to enjoy it. I'm here to. I've been waiting for this moment for ages, so I'm just going to enjoy it. I don't really, from a personal point of view, don't matter what happens. I just hopefully bowl well, and what will be will be. But yeah, you're right. I'm just buzzing to be out there, and yeah, sort of hopefully gained a bit of confidence as the days go on, and it will leave me in a good space moving into next season in the winter.
And to your performance today, I mean, no wickets on the board, but it seemed to be going out pretty well for a bloke who's not played since April in a first team game.
Yeah, I felt very good, to be fair. I was started a bit slowly, I think, just needed to trust my action a bit more, and then once I got that trust, sort of after over 2, I think I bowled the next 10 overs were real good, and then bowled a tough spell at the end of the day with not a lot of help, and the pitch is not got a huge amount in it at all for us, so we just got to work hard tomorrow and hopefully make the new ball count.
Yeah, it seemed to get difficult, didn't it, after that 67 for 4 point? Do you think that was partly you can reflect on that yourselves and say we could have bowled better, or was it down to the pitch just getting so flat so quickly?
I think we spoke at tea. I think we probably could have bowled better in that sort of period just before tea. I think after tea, I don't think we did a huge amount wrong. It's, as I said, there's not a huge amount in it. I thought Bessie bowled exceptionally well, actually, to sort of allow us to share the workload in terms of the seamers. So yeah, really happy for him, and he did a really good job. But yeah, in the last session, I think it was just a case of hammering away, and there were some good balls going for 4 at the end of the day. So hopefully, as I said, tomorrow we can make use of the new ball.
Yeah, you got that to come. In terms of incentives for the match, apart from your personal physical incentive of getting through it, from a team point of view, you know, obviously bottom of the table, 6 points adrift. We've gone through all of that, and I don't want to, you know, go over the old ground, but you've still got the incentive here, and it's a real incentive of getting off the bottom of the table. Maybe if you bowl really well with that new ball tomorrow, denying Worcestershire that point they need to get promotion just for that little bit longer.
Yeah, Gibbo spoke about that at the start of the day. That's sort of an incentive to win this game, and I mean, hopefully, if we, as you say, use that new ball early on, bowl them out sort of come lunchtime, and then we can put some runs on the board, hopefully, and then sort of force the game our way, and then yeah, hopefully get a win at the end of it to finish.
Matt Milne speaking to Jonathan Deutsch.
Straight up when I met you, saw it in your eyes, thought we would be like minds. Don't think I'll ever forget you, no, no, no. But those moments spent with you, till the sky's turning blue, I'll see you on the other side. We'll say a bittersweet goodbye tonight. Can we keep this high alive tonight? See you in another life, do it all again sometime. We'll say a bittersweet goodbye tonight. Bittersweet goodbye. Bittersweet goodbye. We'll say a bittersweet goodbye tonight. Can we keep this high alive tonight? We say bittersweet good. I knew straight up when I met you, saw it in your eyes, thought we would be like minds. Don't think I'll ever forget you, no, no, no. But those moments spent with you, till the sky's turning blue, I'll see you on the other side. We say a bittersweet goodbye tonight. Can we keep this high alive tonight? See you in another life, do it all again sometime. We say a bittersweet goodbye tonight. A bittersweet higher life tonight. Bittersweet goodbye.
That's Izzy Cross. It's BBC Radio York. It's 8:45. Still waiting for the teams to come back out at the LNER Community Stadium. Don't forget, if you want to contact us, we'd love to hear from you. Ian on Twitter says, come on York, a lovely start, and Marsh just looks so busy. That's on Twitter at BBC York Sport. On the text, you can contact us on 81333. Please start your message with the word York. And on WhatsApp, it's 08000 321 333. Again, please start your message with the word York. Kenneth in Haxby's been in touch to say he doesn't think Neil Ardley will last until the end of the season because he's not winning matches. Kenneth, I think at this point in time, you need a little bit more patience. He's been in charge, 4 or 5 matches? They've won 2 games out of those 4 or 5 matches, and being brutally honest, they're in a bit of a mess and he's trying to sort it out. I think just Neil Ardley maybe needs time, and I think it probably will be on his side. Thank you for your comments though, Kenneth. Always valid no matter what you've got to say. 14 minutes to 9 is the time. We will be going back across to David as soon as the teams are coming back out. In the meantime, here's Lady Gaga. Well, let's stop Lady Gaga in her prime there because the teams are coming back out on the pitch now at the LNER Community Stadium. Thanks, lads. We could have saved Lady Gaga the trouble. Anyway, let's get back across to the stadium. It's York City 1, Barnet 1. Let's rejoin your commentary team of Ian Dunn and David Ward.
You've stopped Lady Gaga, Sharon. I think Neil Ardley's stopped Xander Ciziba because there was a change for York City at half-time, and Ollie Dyson has come on in the centre of the park for Xander Ciziba. I'm just looking how York City are going to line up here. Kuyar's has come out across to this right-hand side. Dyson is going to go and play in the centre, it looked. Almost as if City are going with... Ollie Dyson's going to push. He's going to be playing a little bit further forward. And a similar role, I presume, to what Paddy McLaughlin did when he came on at the weekend, quite successfully, it has to be said, down at Woking. So the lineups are Whitley in goal for York City, then Latty Fairweather, Smith, Howe, Fallowfield, Batty and Woodyard in the centre. Kuyar is going to play on the right-hand side. I think they're going to be more of a narrow 3. Dyson in that sort of number 10 role, advanced midfield role, behind Akinyemi and Marsh. For the away side, Walker's in goal, Akimo, Aluwu and Collins are the centre-backs, Carnu and Hall-Johnson the wing-backs, Hartigan in the centre of the midfield. 3 further forward, Callum Stead, Harry Pritchard, the goal-scorer, and Zach Brunt. Nicky Kabamba is the lone centre forward for the visitors. That's the referee's whistle as Barnet get the game back underway. Barnet shooting towards the south stand in the second half, City shooting towards the empty north stand. And Kenneth, what's Kenneth been on at half-time? Getting in touch to say that he thinks Neil Ardley's going to be gone because they're not winning enough games. They've won 2 of the last 3. That's be one of the more bizarre calls that we've taken on Radio York lately. If you want to get in touch, though, of course, we welcome all views and opinions at BBC York Sport, 81333 on the text. Start your message with the word York. Barnet, or a Barnet player, goes to get the ball. They have a throw-in just inside the York City half. What Neil Ardley have said at half-time. And Ollie Dyson coming on for Xander Ciziba. Do you think that is a tactical switch?
I would think it must be, because I think Ciziba, he didn't look injured, did he, before half-time? So, yeah, it must be tactical. But you can kind of see why. Maybe just to try and stiffen things up in that midfield, because at times Barnet were getting through us, because they're a good team. Just add a little bit extra energy and strength in there, maybe. Hall-Johnson
up against Will Smith at the back. He goes back to his centre-back pair, and into the middle it comes. Kabamba, the first bit of quality, really, that we've seen from him in this game. He got his head to it and diverts it down to the near post, and thankfully Ryan Whitley's there to gather at him. It
was a half chance, wasn't it? He's hit the target, which you want your striker to do. Got a little warning signal to York City there. Of course, they kept Kabamba really quiet in that first half, so hopefully he doesn't come to life in this second half.
Fallowfield back to Callum Howe. Kuyar definitely playing on this right-hand side at the start of this half for York City. Kuyar picks it up, gives it to Batty. He goes to Smith. He has a Lati Fairweather on the left-hand side. He goes infield to Woodyard. Not a good pass from Lati Fairweather to Woodyard. Somebody almost made something of it, but Barnet get it back, and then Woodyard and Lati Fairweather run into each other over there, virtually tackle each other, and the ball goes back all the way down to the Barnet goalkeeper, Laurie Walker.
There's a loose pass from Lati Fairweather. It left Woodyard with nowhere to go, really. I think he was probably disappointed there, Woodyard, but he realised that Lati Fairweather was probably equally as disappointed in the pass himself.
City, virtually, I think City changed their. Have City now gone to a 3 centre-backs here? I think they might have done. We'll come back onto that in a second as Barnet come forward on this left-hand side of the chemo. He's got Carno outside him. He's held up just outside the penalty area. Goes back to Collinge. Collinge infield to Brunt. Now it comes across the far side. Pritchard to Hall Johnson. It's not a good ball. Hall Johnson does keep it in play, just, and then runs into Lati Fairweather, throws himself to the ground, and Lati Fairweather gives away possession cheaply on that far side of the field by the corner flag. Cross comes into the box, flashed across the face of the goal. In fact, it's too high, and it goes behind for a goal kick. I think City may have gone to 3 centre-backs here. Ryan Fallowfield on the right-hand side of those 3, alongside Callum Howe and Will Smith, and Kuyar's playing as a right wing-back, and Lati Fairweather as a left wing-back.
Yep, I think you're right. I think that's probably the likes of Carno over on this side, this near side, to give him something else to think about, because he was getting so much space in that first half, and it stiffens that centre back area up as well.
Yeah, City 3-5-2 at the start of this second half. Especially when Neil Ardley said, you have to be really tuned in to play that system.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much he will have worked on it so far. That's a poor pass from Ollie Dyson. His first touch since coming on. He's put it straight into touch on this near side. Throwing down the line. Cleared by the now centre-back, Ryan Fallowfield. Then Carno just nods it past Kuyar, breaks forward, and he nutmegs Fallowfield, gets the byline. Carno, can he pick out a pass into the centre? He can't. It's cleared by Callum Howe at the near stick.
Yeah, very impressive footballer, Carno. They just Carno.
City haven't got started this second period yet, Ian, though. 4 minutes gone.
No, Barnet have started like City started the first half. They've started this second half, and City can't catch a breath at the moment. Just maybe getting used to the tinkering at the back as well.
Around the line, that's gone out off the back of Ryan Fallowfield. That's the right decision by the referee. It hit Fallowfield's back. First corner kick of the second half goes to the visitors. Just their second of the game.
Yeah, for all their possession and attacking play, to only have 2 corners, it means City have kept the ball away from the goal.
Well, they've taken it short. City have only sent Kuyar out. Got outnumbered on this near side. Now to the edge of the area, it goes to Carno, right-footed curling shot into the middle of Ryan Whitley again, but Kabamba was waving his boot behind him. Any nick off him, it could have gone anywhere.
I was just going to say, took the phrase off my tongue. He literally, any touch that was in the back of the net.
He just waved his foot at the ball, didn't he? You can hear the crowd are already getting anxious here at Ryan Whitley's. He thinks about, he's just gifted possession away. Straight down the centre of the field, look at Neil Ardley saying, why don't you play it out to the left-hand side?
I think because he was genuinely looking and thinking...
He's still having a go at him, Ardley, still having a go.
Yeah, he wants him to risk it, he wants him to take that. Be brave, I think that's what he's saying. Be brave, trust yourself.
In the middle it comes. To a chemo now on this left-hand side. A little ball down the line. Good tackle comes in on Stead. Nice a throw in to Barnet. Down the line to Carno, who's going to turn Kuyar. It's gone out of play though for a goal kick. 1-1, BBC Radio York, 5.5 minutes gone at the start of this second half. Whitley gives it to Smith, far side of the ground. Will Smith, no issues with him so far. Ryan Whitley, he's just going to give possession away here again in the midfield. He tries to spread it out this right-hand side. He needs to improve his distribution, does Ryan Whitley.
He did trust himself there, but he couldn't execute it. Caught in 2 wheels there.
Batty to the left-hand side to Smith. He needs some help, goes back to Woodyard. Forward, shouts the gentleman behind us, as he so often does. Back to Whitley it goes. He dinks it down the centre of the field for Akinyemi, who shoulders it back towards his own goal. Can be picked up by a Barnet man. Tackle comes in from Fallowfield. Batty. Ollie Dyson, his second touch. Manages to find his man this time. Gives it to Marsh. Forward it comes to Akinyemi in the centre circle. He has to lay it off back to Batty. Batty turns away from Stead. Creates a bit of time for himself and then tries to play it down the right-hand side. Looking for Kuyar, but it's too straight and goes through to the Barnet goalkeeper.
Yeah, and then Batty trying to find that forward ball, and Kuyar a willing runner. Just not quite, it feels like they're not quite firing on all cylinders, City, at the moment. But they're again, like I say, they're hanging in there. They're working their socks off for the team. They've just got to keep this Barnet attack quiet.
Lottie Fairweather intercepts for York.
Now
I'm
then,
not sure
go on,
City
man.
putting on a show.
Oh!
That's but then there's a massive pullback on Lottie Fairweather, and this is a simple yellow card for Collins. Then throws the ball away.
Ooh.
He could quite easily get 2 yellows for that.
Yeah, I mean that Lottie Fairweather, he opened his legs up. He looked like lightning there. He really did. The only thing going to stop him was a foul.
Free kick to York then. First real move that City have made in the opening 7 minutes of this half. It's about 15 yards inside the Barnet half. On the left-hand side, Batty about to put it towards the penalty area. In it comes now. It's a deep one. One in the air by Callum Howe, but the goalkeeper's going to come and get it. Walker, not the greatest punch away. It's a bit of a flap to the edge of the area. Oh, and Kuyar couldn't keep hold of it, and now on the break come Barnet. Carnu has an overlapping runner in Hartigan if he wants to feed him. Instead, he goes back into the centre of the park to Pritchard. Hartigan. He goes back to Akimo, and City have got everyone back in position. Glad I got my cup of tea at half-time. It's getting a bit chillier again, Ian.
Yeah, well, you keep warm, David. I've got my juice with me as well. It is, you're right, the temperatures are dropping.
Not that you'd know from looking at Neil Cox down there in his shorts. Barnet try and play it out and get it wrong this time. Put it straight to touch on this near side. Neil Ardley out of his technical area, side of the pitch, talking to Maz Kuyar, giving instructions.
Yeah, he's leaving his players under no certain, he's getting his message across and they are understanding him. And he knows that that's what he's got to do with these players, and
it's got to be quite frustrating when they're not your players yet.
Yeah, he's trying to get across his ideas to them, and to have to do it in match scenarios, that's even more difficult. You can only train with them so much, and this week they won't have done much this week, obviously, having travelled down south on Saturday, so they've had yesterday to prepare for this game.
Fallowfield with a throw-in down the line to Kuyar, is able to turn into the centre. It goes towards Dyson. His first touch not the greatest, but the second he manages to dig out a decent cross, but Laurie Walker's able to come and gather.
Wasn't a bad cross from Ollie Dyson, actually, but this is danger for York.
Oh, he's bowled it out to the right-hand side. 2 versus 2 now for Barnet as they burst forward. Smith's trying to hold up the Barnet man over there. He played it inside the full-back and the centre-back. They've still got it, but City now getting men back.
Yeah, good
Pritchard.
defence.
Left foot, cross into the box. Batty's there to head clear.
Yeah.
Now City have got everyone back.
Yeah.
Bar Akinyemi. So the ball's just going to come back at them again.
Sorry, David. It was good to see them all sprinting back and getting back into shape. That's what Neil Hardley been telling them. Get into shape, be hard to beat.
Carno to Hartigan. He goes forward to Brunt. Brunt to Uluru. Up towards the edge of the penalty area. Even Dipo Akinyemi back out helping his defence. And it comes into the box, headed away at the near stick by Will Smith. Only as far as Brunt again. He puts the cross in again, it's deflected. Can Whitley get there before it goes for a corner? He can.
Yep, well done Ryan Whitley, on his toes.
He clears, first time not sure. Look at Neil Ardley again, furious with him, just straight downfield. Listen to him, Ryan, listen to him. Think about it, he's pointing at his temples. He's Neil Ardley. I'm not sure what Ryan Whitley was thinking there.
Yeah, he knows that his team's under pressure. I think Neil Ardley's saying to him, hold on to it, don't force it. There's only young Marsh up front on his own, don't try and pick him out. So he get his message across nicely. I think Ryan Whitley will have understood loud and clear what Neil Ardley was saying.
Well, it certainly wasn't just give away possession down the centre of the pitch, which is what's happened the last couple of occasions he's had the ball.
This is what's happening when we give it. These Barnet are putting York City under a lot of pressure. They're good on the ball, they're good in possession, but they're really good out of it as well. So it's so important that when we do get the ball, we slow the game down, keep it, make it hard for them to get the ball back.
They're knocking it around the back. And they try and come long down the centre of the field. Kabamba stays onside, edge of the area. He's got a lay off if he wants to. He's allowed to turn. Into the penalty area he goes. Oh, he just tried to beat too many men, but he's still not cleared the lines here, York City. The referee has a bit of rugby tackling going on the floor, and City do eventually get given the foul.
I think Kabamba got that all wrong, David. He could have played his teammate in there. He's tried to. He's maybe been a bit selfish. He hasn't seen much of the ball tonight. He maybe just thought, hey, I'm in the box. He
should have played him in.
He should have played him in. Then City would have been in serious trouble. I think Kabamba did City a favour there.
It was very similar, but nearer to goal than when Kuyar should have played Depot in at Woking on Saturday.
Yes, yeah, very similar.
Whitley to Kuyar, cushioned header. Fallowfield had to go back towards his own goal, but got there. Back in field to Kuyar, back to Fallowfield. Kuyar once again. Comes in field and gives it to Will Smith. Swift back to Whitley. They get frustrated pretty quickly, some of these guys behind us, don't they, about City passing it around at the back.
They're nervy, and what's happening, they've got to trust the players at times. They're trying to do what the manager wants them to do, which is play out from the back. You're going to...
Forward to Akinyemi. Is that his first touch this half? And he plays it down the left-hand side, but he's got too much on that as Akinyemi, and the goalkeeper comes and puts it into touch. But at least City were on the front foot there.
Yeah, and Letty Fairweather actually made something good of that, because the ball would have run out of play there, but he chased it down. The keeper had to kick it out, and City get a throw-in from that effort from Letty Fairweather.
He struggles defensively, but he does have pace to burn when he's going forward down that far side.
Yeah, he comes alive when he gets in behind his opposite full-back. He certainly has something to offer as an attacking outlet.
First time I've seen Callum Harriott warming up. Throw into the edge of the area. Akinyemi tries to turn, almost like the Michael Coulson throws that City used to take back in the day.
Yeah.
Back to Letty Fairweather inside the penalty area. Can he get a cross in? He thinks about it, and he does win the corner kick, Letty Fairweather.
Yeah, this is good stuff from City. It's actually been a very entertaining game. If you're a neutral, it'd be hard to call it. But City have certainly, they've given everything they can as well to try and unsettle Barnet. The fans are getting behind them again. This is all building up, hopefully.
Well, Batty gets ready to take the corner kick. Kai Kennedy comes out as well. All the York City substitutes now warming up beneath us.
Well, they'll all want to come on. You know, this is the kind of game they know we're playing well.
Batty, deep one to the back stick. Easy, though, for the goalkeeper.
Oh, you've got to be careful.
Not sure City played that well this second half, Ian.
No, but you just feel that there's something there for them. You know, they've got Dippo up front. Yes, Barnet have been probably the better of the two teams this second half. If I'm a sub here, this game is on a night. It's still 1-1. It's on a knife edge. Can you have an effect on the match? And if you're a sub out there, Callum Harriott in particular, he might just be thinking, hey, I can win this match for York City. But they've got a lot of defending to do before it comes to that stage.
Reece Hall-Johnson. Again, he's played most of this game as a right winger, really. A right-sided striker rather than a right full-back or wing-back. Dyson does well at the back for York City. Woodyard gives away possession. Falls to a Barnet man just outside the area. Don't bring him down there, Woodyard, as he throws himself to ground. He does bring him down.
Yeah, he has.
He might get booked as well here, Alex Woodyard, as the referee just getting no. It's just his spray is getting out. He got wrong side, he turned him and he brought him down. It was sort of like, well, I'm going to bring you down outside the area rather than inside it.
Yeah. He drew the foul on, and you called it before he did it. You could see the foul was coming. Yeah, just to clarify my comments, it's if I'm defending at 1-1, you're thinking I might be able to come on here and change this match. Barnet are a good team, there's no doubt about it, but City hanging in, defending well enough for now.
Brunt's over this free kick, just outside the penalty area, right in the right-hand corner. A two-man wall set up, Dyson and Kuyar, and it comes now from Brunt into the centre. Who's that? Who's won his header? It's Will Smith again at the near post, puts it behind for a corner kick.
You would not think he hasn't played this season, would you? As a defender,
he's been really good.
Yeah, he's been solid. He's done his job. You asked at the top of the show, what will he be expected to do? Well, I think he's up to now. Touch wood. So far, so good.
Look at Dean Brennan shouting at Carnu. And Brunt here as they have the corner kick from this near side. Hartigan raises his left arm. And it comes in now onto the head of, I think that was Marsh. Again, Bratty couldn't clear it though, and it's going to come back in from that far side. That's a poor cross into the, in fact that hits the poor photographer in his wheelchair behind the goal there. It's a goal kick.
I see the fans give it a big round of applause. And the photographer took it really well.
He did, he's not hurt, he'll be all right.
Probably got a close-up of the ball.
Whitley's learnt his lesson at the minute, he's played it out here. To the far side, and he gets a little 1-2 as well and gives it back to Smith. Did well there, Ryan Whitley.
He did.
To Woodyard. Woodyard, yeah, what's he meant to do with that? Is the shout behind us? I sort of agree that time. Now City do just give away possession with a long aimless punt downfield.
But there in itself is a snapshot, isn't it? Woodyard had nowhere to go. They were passing the ball around and people get nervy.
Kuyar manages to find a bit of space, centre of the field, gives it to Akinyemi on the left-hand side. City extending men forward now. Akinyemi has to hold on to it though. Goes infield to Kuyar. Can he turn towards goal? He can. Just outside the penalty area. Forces it across this right-hand side to Fallowfield. Back to Batty. Down inside, it's Kuyas on his heels, and the man just nips him and gets the possession back for Barnet. And now they're going to break forward down this left-hand side with Kanu. Marsh is doing well to track the run. Kanu still got it though, going towards the dead ball line. Marsh holds him up, gets a good round of applause, forces Kanu back to halfway. Well played, Aidan Marsh.
Excellent work rate from the young lad there. Helped his team out there. They'll be appreciative of that.
Collins to the far side, now to Aluwu. Down the right-hand side it goes. Looking for Hall Johnson, appeals for offside from York City. Nothing given by the linesman. Cuts in field. Cross comes in now. It's a deep one towards the back post. Oh, did Ryan Whitley get a hand to it? I think
really
he just did, but he put it into the penalty area.
Yeah.
He had a stroke of fortune as well there, I think, as Marsh throws himself to the ground. The referee says no, there's no free kick there. And Barnet have it again at the back, and the fourth official tells Neil Ardley, get back in your box. Just brushes him off there, didn't he? Just hand out, don't want anything to do with this.
You're not going past me. That was
I'm not making the decisions. There's no point having a moan at me.
Yeah. The defender was just too strong there, just a big lad. Just used his experience and the height difference to brush Marsh aside.
And again, virtually all of this second half, and we're into it now. Let's have a look at the clock. 18 minutes into it has been played in the half that York City are defending. Now they come down the right-hand side to Barnet and they win themselves another corner kick. The goal is on its way, you feel?
Well, yes and no. I don't want to say anything, obviously. The commentators curse, but City have managed to limit their actual chances. They've got a lot of possession, a lot of football. It's neat, don't get me wrong. I think you're right. It's building up to something. But if City can just stay strong, defend the lines, clear
Callum
that
Harriott
ball.
has been called back by Neil Ardley.
Yeah, we need another threat. We need an outlet.
Corner kick taken short, and it comes into the box now, headed away by Akinyemi. They need him at both ends of the field. We need 11 Deepo Akinyemis.
Brilliant defending.
Barnet have it at the back though, and they've gone all the way back to Laurie Walker.
But at some stage, if Barnet can't turn all this possession into chances and then ultimately goals, they might just get frustrated, David. And that is when, if York City can keep it at 1-1 for as long as they possibly can, hopefully then capitalise on any frustrations.
Ball over the top looking for Stead. Fallowfield tracks his run as well, gets his head to it, gives it to Howe. Kuyar. Kuyar back towards his own goal.
Sorry, yeah. The ball
puts Fallowfield under pressure as well, though, Ian, when you go back. Now Fallowfield's going to lose possession. Takes a swipe at the Barnet man as he tries to clear. Might be going to the book in a minute. They come forward to Kanu into the penalty area. Kanu still got it. Takes on the shot and scores. That was an absolute calamity of errors from York City. And Kanu's done really well to slip it past Ryan Whitley into his bottom right corner. Whitley just stood there and watched it go past him. He couldn't get there. City trail and Ryan Fallowfield gets a yellow.
Literally minutes ago, I was applauding that they've stuck in there, they've been resolute, they've been defending. It was a mistake. It was an avoidable goal. Neil Ardley will be furious with that. That's a gimme. I don't know who it was. We could see it. The ball, just play it down the line. Get the ball away from your goal. You're under pressure. And they didn't. They passed it to Fallowfield. He got in a mess. He didn't have much. I can't really blame him. But from then on, it's just comedy central. Really poor goal to concede that for City.
You just felt it was coming. Although he's not had a save to make, Whitley, really.
No, that's the first.
You just felt as though it was coming.
Yeah, the pressure may be told. And that's why the mistake happened, because they put us under so much pressure. But, oh, dear me. Oh, bad timing for the goal as well.
Now applause for Dave Barton as everyone inside the LNER Community Stadium gets to their feet. Such sad news, and we all learned last week that he had passed away. I think his mum and his sister were going to be at the game tonight. There were going to be some flowers on the seat that he normally occupied. Even the York City substitutes down there. I can see Paddy McLaughlin applauding, Kai Kennedy applauding. As York City make the change, Aidan Marsh comes off, Neil Ardley applauding, and coming on in his place is Callum Harriott.
Yeah, we spoke on Saturday, didn't we, David? Dave Barton, what a genuinely lovely guy. First face you'd see, positive every time you saw him. Always at the ground before anybody else.
And all his mates that we always used to see him with outside the ground in the lobby where the library is. They're all there tonight again when we walked in, weren't they? He was the only one that was missing.
Yeah, one of the group was missing, but not forgotten, and never will be forgotten.
Barnet, who lead this game now by 2-1 as we approach the midway point in this second half. City need to do something to turn the tide, because they've not hardly gone over halfway this second half, never mind look like scoring a goal.
No, it was like trying to soak up the pressure, wasn't it? Try and defend, keep frustrating Barnet, but no. Barnet's pressure has, I suppose they'll say that the pressure has told. and it made City produce an error that's led to the goal.
And
it was a mistake.
It's still all Barnet down this left-hand side. Kuyar can't get there. Spread out to Kanu, who's around the back. Is Kanu who's going to put a dangerous cross in. He's put it on his right foot, and it comes in now deep on, headed away by Lati Fairweather to a white shirt at the edge of the area.
We just can't get out. We can't get the ball. And when we do, we're under such pressure that we keep giving it away.
Yeah. It's almost like an
where,
underdog in a cup tie, the amount of possession that Barnet are having in this second half.
I'm going to go into the future. This is where Neil Ardley would want his team to be, I think.
To the far stick. One header, it's 3-1.
Oh, no.
So easy. No one stopped Akimo putting the ball in. And it's Reece Hall-Johnson, one of the smallest men on the pitch, who's got free at the back stick. And it's a brilliant header. He's just looped it over Ryan Whitley into the far corner of the goal. 3-1. And you imagine that's probably game over.
Yeah, that's, again, from Barnet's point of view, it's a good goal, but I just feel like it could have been avoided. From City's point of view, it started with the cross. Stop the cross. That's what you taught as a kid, your wide defender. You stop the cross, and it was just from that moment on, it was just too easy. It was a lovely header, don't get me wrong. Ryan Whitley had no chance in the goal, but just disappointing because City had stuck to the guns for so long, but Barnet, the pressure has told. It's spoken, and basically City have not managed to get to grips with Idris Kanu all night long, David, and yeah, City have now got a mountain to climb if they're to get anything from this match.
They certainly do. 3-1 down.
Barnet are showing the class.
Bring you some other scores in a second as City kick off once again. Dyson to Kuyar, he's tackled. Going to be a York City throw-in. Latest scores then in the National League: Fylde 1, Boreham Wood 1, Aldershot 1, Southend 0, Bromley 1, Eastleigh 0, Ebbsfleet 0, Dorking 1, Hartlepool 0, Solihull 2, Kidderminster 1, Oldham 1. These are the games where there are goals. Oxford City 0, Gateshead 2, Wealdstone 1, Woking 0, and Rochdale 1, Chesterfield 2.
Woking having a bad week.
Yeah.
Down again.
They certainly are. Infield it goes from Barnet, over halfway. It is one-way traffic here at the LNER Community Stadium. Pritchard to the far side to Reece Hall-Johnson. Ball forward again to the edge of the area. Offside flag goes up against Pritchard.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Neil Ardley down there. He's looking at his team. He's trying to work out what they can do. But two avoidable goals really on a night where a team was built to be, try and come and beat us almost. Try and be tough to beat, and it's two avoidable goals again. Is it individual errors, or is it as a collective that they maybe just went to sleep a little bit? But that's where we are. That's why we are where we are, and Barnet are where they are. It'll come. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Callum Harriott had a little kick out there in the centre of the park as well. The referee spotted. Now Kuyar pulls his man back, and he may be going to the book, is he? As Kano runs away from him.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Sorry, how's Kuyar not getting a booking there for what happened in the first half?
I don't know.
They do bad numbers, don't they? They make it up at times, the officials, I'm afraid.
I think that one in the first half was almost, he's laying his marker down, wasn't he, saying no more of that. But once you do that, you surely then got to sort of follow it through.
Swings and roundabouts, but yeah, you do shake your head at times.
Yeah.
Akimo forward to Kanu, to the edge of the area, intercepted by Woodyard. Nice little back heel to set Dyson free. What can he do? Can he pick out a pass?
Oh.
He looks for Callum Harriott. Oh, it's a shocker though from Ollie Dyson, I'm afraid. He's really, really struggling this season.
It's just that quality, that little bit of quality. That is it composure or just the ability to pick a pass there? I think Ollie Dyson just got that. Yeah, it just wasn't great, was it? If you compare that to the likes of Hartigan, who pick a pass and it goes straight to it goes where, well, 9 times out of 10 it's going where he intends it to go, whereas on that occasion Ollie Dyson looks up and the ball sort of goes where we probably expect it to go, which is out of the ground, unfortunately, and that's not been harsh. He's just having one of those periods in his career.
No, I think it's clear to see, isn't it? He's lacking confidence,
yeah.
and he
is
struggling.
Aren't working for him.
Oh, and they're coming through again. Barnet down the right hand side. Hall-Johnson skipped away there from Will Smith, the first error, and he slips it into the goal. No, it doesn't. It's the post on the angle. Oh, what an escape for York City.
Yeah, that could and should have been 4. We've got to be careful. This doesn't.
Kuyar's just given away. He's another one who's struggling.
He is tonight again. We mustn't let this get too far away from us, David. It could be an embarrassing one.
Hartigan goes back to his goalkeeper. City trailing by 3-1.
Yeah, heads are down. They've got to just lick their lips and get on with it, really.
Ball down the line, onto the head of Smith. Picked up again in midfield, though, this time by Batty. Gives it to Woodyard. He's going to lose out in the centre of the park, and he's done well, actually. He's fouled as well, as Woodyard.
There's 3 men around him. He wasn't going to get beat, was he?
Yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, it is disappointing. I think you can feel it around the ground that, as good as Barnet were, they weren't really hurting us, but that second goal has totally changed this game, and the pressure they're applying, they probably deserve it, don't they? Let's be brutally honest. But I was just saying, before they scored that goal, I bet if you spoke to Neil Ardley, he probably envisages his team to be like Barnet in 10, 12, 13 months' time. Because he's got time to get his ethos across to the players. This is what hopefully we'll be looking at.
Barnet have it at the back. City still just cannot get hold of possession. Have they passed? They've made 4 or 5 passes at all at any point in this half.
No, because they lose it and Barnet
and it comes in. Reece Hall-Johnson again. Whitley comes to gather.
They've been so good out of possession. They really
Balled
have.
out to Kuyai. Can get forward now. He's in front of Kano. What's he going to do? Messiah Kuyai comes over halfway. Does he have a ball here? Can he pick out a pass? He goes back to Woodyard. Woodyard to Batty. Batty sends it out to the left-hand side to Lati Fairweather. Harriet, Batty, Lati Fairweather. Harriet, Lati Fairweather, Batty. Back to front. Batty finds Ryan Fallowfield. He tries to give it to Akinyemi. Akinyemi holds his man off and he turns. Another substitution about to be made in a second. It's Paddy McLaughlin that's going to come on for York City. Ball over the top, down this right-hand side from Woodyard. Trying to find Fallowfield, and then Kuyai just couldn't control it on the edge of the area.
He's got to be better in that position there, Maz Kuyai. It's not a great layoff, but it's good enough. Get it under control.
But you look at players like Dyson, you don't want to pick out on individuals, but Dyson and Kuyai, real stars really for York City and National North. And you just feel now when the quality's got to be better, they're really struggling.
Yeah, when you contrast that with Woodyard, Batty, who they've got that little bit of that sprinkling of magic dust, and Mazzanoli Dyson just got to find the levels really. Can they improve? Can they make sure that Neil Ardley doesn't need to go to the transfer market and bring almost better versions of them into the squad? But it's a learning curve for them, and hopefully Neil Ardley can make them better as footballers and fit into his style of football.
Lati Fairweather. Well, you've got to say they've both been given ample opportunities from Neil Ardley so far, because they played every game. Dyson apart from the call from the game when he was ill. Barnet come forward again, shot. Whitley has to save, too easy.
There's not much protection on the goal, is there?
Not now. Not now.
No.
There isn't.
Oh.
Whitley doesn't know what to do here, whether to play it long or pass it out. The crowd are starting to get on his back.
Well, he knows what his manager wants him to do, but if the players aren't looking at him and wanting to receive the ball, he'll make himself look stupid.
Just gives away possession on halfway. Barnet have it again. It's verging on the embarrassing at times in this second half, the amount of possession. City just cannot get over halfway and cannot string 3 or 4 passes together. It is literally one-way traffic, and I can't remember a team coming here in a long, long time and dominating the game as much as Barnet are now.
Yeah, even the big... It's almost Notts County-esque. Notts County kept the ball so well. I still feel Notts County is a football team, probably a better footballing team than even Wrexham were last season. They really undid us, but this Barnet side, they're playing such good possession football, and they work so hard off it as well. They've got a real good mix going on.
They have it at the back. Chemo. He sends it forward. Looking for Kabamba on the stretch. Fallowfield can't get there. Kabamba tries to lay it off. Picked up by Brunt and takes on the shot from 25-30 yards. Takes the deflection off the back of a York City player. Whitley goes and gathers on the left-hand side of his penalty area. He gives it to Smith. Smith to Batty. Batty into midfield to Woodyard. Woodyard, little back heel to Dyson. McLaughlin still waits to come on this near side. He's been stood down there now for 3 or 4 minutes. To Harriet. Ball just hasn't gone out of play. Callum Harriet. Under pressure, gives it to Ryan Fallowfield. Fallowfield forced back towards his own goal. Where's he going? Gives it to Callum Howe. Howe clears long. Looking for Kuyai, can't find him. Dyson brushed off it. Barnet come forward again. Pritchard. Poor ball forward this time, intercepted by York City, but picked up in midfield. Oh, it's not. Callum Harriet's too soft as well. Pritchard gets away from him. To the right-hand side it goes to Hall-Johnson.
We just can't get
Just cannot get a touch on the ball.
Can't lay a glove on them, can we? And every time we win it back, they seem to have the energy to win the ball back from us. Almost
as if they have 12 players as well.
Yeah, they're finding all the gaps in the pitch.
Akimo, look, he's come all the way into the penalty area here. Dinks it into the back stick. There's no one there. Well, they're so fortunate because we are being completely outplayed here.
You'd love to be a striker for them, wouldn't you?
Well, at the minute you would.
Yeah, it's.
Akinyemi turns away from his man. Gets a small round of applause, gives it back to Smith.
Obviously, it's easier at 3-1, but they are starting to really carve us open now at will. We mustn't let this get embarrassing. That's all I would say. If you can.
Dyson back to his goalkeeper. He gives it to Callum Howe.
Defend as resolutely as he possibly can.
12.5 minutes to go. Kuyar turns away well from his man. Comes into midfield. Gives it to Dyson. Dyson. Can he pick out a pass? Gives it to Akinyemi. Gets it back, does Dyson. Both teams now trying to make a substitution, but still waiting for the ball to go out of play. Woodyard, who may be the man to come off from McLaughlin. Batty. Via a deflection, he finds Fallowfield. Fallowfield infield again to Batty.
No.
Batty just gives away possession.
No, that's not a good piece of play from Batty there. Very unlike him.
Kanu.
There's a tired pass. I think that's maybe what Neil Ardley's thinking now. Get players off that have done, had the minutes, and get other players on to see us through to the end of the game. Hopefully.
Paul Johnson back to Aluwu.
Conceding again.
Collins, Akimo. Into midfield to Pritchard. He tries playing it through. To the edge of the area. Sliding tackle comes in from Smith, but it falls to Pritchard. Takes on the shot. Hits the back of Ryan Fallowfield, and Whitley has to go and gather under his bar. Again, though, the space to get the 2 shots off there, Ian.
Yeah. They're finding every gap on the pitch, and the passing is at times sublime. City struggling to live with them.
To Woodyard. Latty Fairweather. Woodyard. He has to go back to his centre-back, Smith. Smith to Batty. To Dyson. You have to worry about the damage this could do as well mentally, because we've been so outplayed in the second half. Harriet. Tries to set Kuyar away down this right-hand side. Can Kuyar keep it in play? He can't. Good attempt by Harriet. It does mean the substitutions can now come on. McLaughlin gets ready to come on. He's going to come on for Alex Woodyard, so we got that one right.
Yeah, good minutes for Woodyard again, getting minutes into his body. He's a good player. He's going to be really important for York City this season. He's done what he could tonight, but ultimately he will be disappointed. But yeah, more minutes in his legs.
And change as well for the visitors as Callum Stead comes off, and on in his place comes number 5 Marvin Armstrong. He goes into the centre of the park.
Number 6 Patrick McLaughlin replacing 30 Alex Woodyard, and substitution for Barnet, number 5 Marvin Armstrong replacing 10 Callum Stead.
The white shirts have it.
You can tell by the sort of the quietness around the stadium as well. Everyone in the stadium knows that we've been second best by a long way in this second half, and yeah, resigned to defeat, but seeing it through. Not leaving too early.
Kanu's caught offside.
Yeah, it's like the fans' duty just to stay till the end, but I'm sure almost everyone in this stadium wishes it was final whistle now.
10 minutes to go.
10 minutes plus whatever he adds on. Let's hope he's kind, the referee. We don't want 17.
He just don't even know what to do with the free kick here. You can see the crowd starting to get a move on.
Yeah, heads are down, angles, look, there's big gaps on the pitch. There's no one really to pass to. So we give it to them.
Fallowfield gives it straight away from the free kick. And now Kabamba's got the edge of the area, and he can turn and run at the York City defence. Fed through to his left-hand side, and he intercepts it, does Fallowfield. Oh, it's just a shambles.
If you have any doubt, you turn them, don't you? Put it in the corner.
It was just a shambles, wasn't it?
Yeah. We look tired, we look
And now Akinyemi's got caught on his foot as he's robbed of the ball.
Yeah.
Trying to do too much to Pritchard, just outside the York City penalty area. There's a 4th and a 5th here for Barnet if they want it. And it comes into the area, header 4. That's for the 4th. Good goal. No one stopped the cross going from Pritchard. Doesn't even celebrate. Just walks back towards halfway because it was so simple. It's a great header into the corner of the goal by Brunt. He's going to celebrate in front of the York fans for whatever reason with his finger across his lips. And the York fans start to pile out. It's 4-1. And the second half has been a mess.
Been awful. Been awful. I'm trying to think of a positive, and I'm kind of struggling, but for Neil Ardley, I'm struggling to put positive out here, but for Neil Ardley, we have been absolutely battered this second half. Second best team. He will have learned a lot about some of the players. Do you know what I mean? In the most sort of sad fashion, he will have learned something from what's happened in the second half. I'm almost certain of it.
This may hasten the departures of some of these players, and it may hasten some new arrivals this week, because they've got to come up against a team who on paper are even better than this lot on Saturday.
And that's what I mean. He's seen the worst of some performances, particularly in this second half. So from a bigger picture point of view, so I suppose I'm getting slightly round to you can't get a positive out of a 4-1 defeat, can you? Could be 5.
Well, the lack of the celebrations from Pritchard just turned and walked back, just said it all. It's been so easy. Pritchard has now come off, and Dale Gorman has come on in place of him in the centre of the park.
Yeah, Neil Ardley down there will be seething, I think. I think he'll be seething at some of these performances in the second half. And
I'm going to make another prediction.
Not another goal, please.
No, we don't get Neil Ardley before 10 o'clock.
He'll be furious.
He certainly will be.
He ain't going to mess around.
And I think the reaction of the crowd at full time will be something similar.
Yeah. But I think you're right. He makes his job, if he thinks he's got to make changes, he will.
Well, City are in the position now where they can afford to make changes. Just got to make sure they're the right changes. Barnet have it at the back with their goalkeeper.
This is like the opposite of us at Barnet last season.
So honestly, when you got two teams playing each other in the same division as Barnet continued to cut through us on the far side of the ground, the gap shouldn't be as big as this. Ball over the top, Kabamba just can't get there. Whitley's got to wait for it at the edge of his area and gets there just before the Barnet striker, who must be amazed that he somehow hasn't got on the score sheet as well tonight. He's not had a good game, Kabamba.
He's not. He's been quiet. They kept him quiet, but they didn't keep the other 9 outfield players quiet. Hartigan's been outstanding in that middle of the park. He's just ran the show. Kanu out on the left, superb.
Over the top from Dyson. What's that, Ollie? What is that?
It's lacking. That's what it is.
That's a long ball straight through to the goalkeeper from deep inside his own half. I don't know, what was he trying to do?
Well, he clearly ran out of ideas and he went for the wrong idea and executed it poorly. This has been a chastening second half, David.
This is no exaggeration, and I reckon the possession stats this second half will be something like 80%, 20%.
They've dominated. They really have, and they've turned it into goals, which I was hoping they wouldn't do, but they have. They've just been too good.
Fallowfield to Dyson, gives it to Batty. Third and final substitution about to come in a second for Barnet.
We started it off ourselves, though. It's such an avoidable second goal, wasn't it?
I think all 3 goals will. All 4, losing count, will be classed as as avoidable. Maybe you can give the 4th because they just sat off and there's just so much room.
And then again, you look at it and think they're all avoidable, but did the pressure tell? Was it the pressure that Barnet were putting our defence under constantly? Did it finally break us? And they're going to score somehow? No, they're a good team. This is certainly one to watch for this season, Barnet.
They're at the back. On this left-hand side, Chemo over the top, looking for Kanu, who's burst forward. Ryan Fallowfield lets the ball go over his head, picked up by Ryan Whitley. Kuyar, Batty to Fallowfield. Batty back to Fallowfield.
I totally agree with you, David.
Gives away the ball. He's had a poor game as well. Ryan Fallowfield tonight. He's really struggled.
Yeah. You made the comment. I think you're absolutely spot on that. 2 teams in the same division. This gap shouldn't have been quite as wide as this certainly from the second half performance. We've still got 11 good players on paper who should have been able to give a little bit more, I think. No, it's going to have to be put down as a learning night. He's going to have to learn something from this match, Neil Ardley, and we might see the changes on Saturday.
Sam Barrett comes on for Nicky Kabamba.
Replacing 9, Nicky Kabamba.
He's ordinarily a midfielder, but he's gone and playing up front here as a straight over. Giving it away again at the back here. Was that Callum Howard gave it away to a Barnet man? Far side of the field, Gorman just holds on to it. What are we doing? Even some of our better players now are
catching the rot.
Yeah. What we consider to be the better players that were signed in the summer. Barnet at the back, who skips away from Callum Harriott, who slipped. Not been involved since he came on. Barnet, look at him driving through the heart of that midfield. Where's the midfield gone? Ollie Dyson's gone walking again here, right by where he should have been. And the Barnet man, so much more effort than it seemed. He seemed to be going 3 or 4 times as fast as the York City midfielder.
Is he suffering from the after effects maybe of, I don't know, just trying to pull something out? Because
if someone was in first gear and they were in third or fourth, wasn't it? And he's only just come on.
Looks so tired. Is he drained?
Centre of the park. Oh, he thought about putting a tackle in there. He gets away from him again, edge of the area.
Paddy McLaughlin done well there, to be fair.
He did really well.
Had to time it right, otherwise it would have been a penalty, I think.
Couillard straight into touch on this near side.
Yeah, it's not been a good one, this, for Neil Ardley and his troops, I'm afraid.
Neil Ardley, come on, keep going, come on.
They got to, and that's what I'm saying, he'll be learning something. Who are the ones that do keep going at 4-1 down? Who are the ones that are really hurt by this? Because they should be. And Neil Ardley's got to work out, if there's anyone out there that isn't hurting, he'll work it out. And those boys will find themselves elsewhere.
Into the middle of the park it goes for Barnet. Continue to have all of the possession. And I mean all the possession. Knocking it around at the back. Look at the space over there now.
Yeah.
In the midfield again, Gorman. To the right hand side, Hall Johnson. Aluwu. Back to Collinge. To Gorman. Look at the space again. Our midfield are just running around in circles. We're nowhere near where the ball is and leaving their men by themselves.
We've gone. That's a statement. That's a saying, isn't it?
Completely.
We've totally gone. Hey, listen. I think
Lottie Fairweather's given away the ball at the back there. Caught on possession to Gorman, just outside the edge of the area. Good tackle comes in from Batty.
Better, can he? There's nowhere to go. Look at we've got to give
Batty's
credit
done really
to
well
Barnet.
here.
He has done
he's
really
got past
well.
two men and plays into midfield. There's no one there.
No. But
it's picked up by the white shirts. Let's just skip past again. Where's Ollie Dyson going there?
He has gone for scraps.
He went for the curry sauce that time.
Yeah.
To Carnu on this left-hand side, bursts into the penalty area. Fallowfield backtracks. Carnu's going to get on his right foot and have a shot. He's already on his right foot. He lays it off to the edge of the area, taking pity on York City. Out to the right-hand side it goes. To Aluwu. Now to Hall Johnson again. Skips past Lottie Fairweather. Into the box it comes. City still not cleared. And they've hit the outside of the post and it's gone behind for a goal kick. So easy.
Yeah. City lads look like they're playing in lead boots at the moment. They cannot raise a gallop. But like I was saying, David, City have been poor, but Barnet have been outstanding. In possession, outstanding. Out of possession, I think even better. The work rate off the ball.
Well, they've not been out of possession much.
Well, look as they keep winning it back.
Couillard plays it through to Akinyemi. First time we've been in the penalty area here all the second half. Akinyemi in the penalty area. Left-footed, scores for York City.
There you go.
Unbelievable. Dean Brendan's not happy. So good, Deepo Akinyemi. Played through by a decent ball by Couillard. Just down the side of the centre-back. Akinyemi, 2 touches. And then with his, I can't even tell if it's his right or his left foot from here, he just slid it past the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Where would York City be without big dips? It's York City 2, Barnet 4. 5 minute goes up on the board.
He's made the scoreline look slightly more respectable. You're right, David. He is outstanding. What a signing he is at this football club. And we're going to have to start. The rest of the team are going to have to.
They're not at his level, Ian.
No, we need to be at his level because he will score goals at this level. A lot of them.
He'll get frustrated.
That's on just thinking. Is the fear for me is. He mustn't get frustrated. We're going to have to build a team around this guy because he's special. He's doing that single-handedly, really.
I think he could well be the best striker we've had at this football club for the best part of 30 years since the likes of Paul Barnes.
I think you're right. He's got power, presence, pace, clinical. He's clever. His passing's good. Wins headers. He's got a little bit of everything. You've sort of got to pinch yourself and say, how on earth did we sign him?
Well, because we paid 260 odd grand or whatever the rumours are.
That seems cheap. If he keeps going the way he's going, there'll be more money than that being.
That text exchange that went all over social media that Matt Ugler put up. Well, yeah, maybe getting a new deal as well.
Matt will realise how important he is because it's obviously he's an outstanding. He's our star player. He needs more around him.
Collinge at the back into the centre of the park to Gorman. He lays it off to Aluwu. Back to Gorman. Back to Aluwu. Infield it goes. Gorman. Again, they're having their own little game over there, him and Aluwu. In front of the Barnet supporters. Forward to Barrett, he can't hold on to it. And he goes into touch for a York City throw-in. Will Smith takes to Dyson. Oh, he just gives it straight into touch. He cannot do anything right, poor Ollie Dyson. 4,065.
Which includes a total of 163 away supporters.
166, 3,902 York City supporters. Yorkie the Lions down there in front of us applauding. I'll have words with him later applauding the away attendance.
They've got a long journey back. Give them something. You'll never give them anything again.
Nope.
No. Brutal.
Lottie Fairweather gives it to Harriet. He gets it back, does Lottie Fairweather, and then he slips straight into touch. I'm not sure it was his fault. It wasn't a great layoff by Callum Harriet. York City supporters continue to head to the exits. 2.5 minutes to go at BBC York Sport. 81333. Start your message with the word York. I know many of you, if you're not here at the ground tonight, will have watched the stream. You can do midweeks and been listening to us as well. So you'll have seen this calamitous display at times. Let us know your thoughts. I can have a good guess at what you're thinking, but we'd still like you to get in touch.
Yeah.
And we'll let the rest of North Yorkshire know.
I think particularly second half, miles off the pace would be being nice.
Dyson header gives away possession.
Yeah, no,
I feel sort of sorry for him now saying it, because it's every single time he gets the ball.
Yeah, his confidence maybe is, it could be shot. It just looks like everything he's going to do is going to get slightly off key.
Kuyar to Lottie Fairweather, far side of the field. He has to go back to McLaughlin. To Smith. Along with Dipo Akinyemi, probably City's standout performer tonight. The Harrogate Town loanee. Forward to Akinyemi. Back to goal. Good ball out to this right-hand side to Fallowfield. Can he get a cross into the box? Skips past his man. In fact, he throws himself to the ground. He gives away possession there, Ryan Fallowfield. Another one who's not had a great night, I'm afraid. And Barnet come forward. We've got 80 seconds to go in this game. Carnu, City trail by 4-2. Barnet again have it at the back.
Mr. Brennan has retreated from the 6-yard his dugout.
But maybe his antics on the touchline, him constantly bellowing out and screaming at his team, maybe that's why he gets so many good results.
He was obviously unhappy with their first half.
I think there's many of us,
performance at times.
I was included in this, thought that he may well be on his way after City beat him 5-0 last year. They'd just lost 4-0, I think, or was it 5-0 as well the game before, and he was under all sorts of pressure. And he ends up turning it around, getting him into the playoffs. He's back out on the edge of it. Well, he's out of his technical area on the side of the pitch now. Not happy with his players. Ball over the top for Barrett to try and run after. Fallowfield's going to get there, though, for York City. And clears it up towards halfway. Barnet allow it to bounce, and it's going to come into touch on this near side. 25 seconds to go.
He's got a good team, David. He's got a good team of players here. And if they can continue to play out this rest of the season, they're going to be right up there.
Goalkeeper clears for Barnet down this right-hand side. Kuyar can't get there, but neither can Carnu. Into touch it goes. Thought we were going to have a bit of a scrap, a bit of a pushing match there between the two of them. I think Kuyar saw the better of it. Into touch it goes. Ryan Fallowfield knows as soon as this ball comes in play, the referee's going to blow. Still has no one to throw it to, though, to be fair.
No one really wants the ball at the moment.
Down the line, it's headed away. No idea now where the referee's getting on this extra 15 seconds that he's played from the 5. He's enjoying his time at the LNER tonight. Nothing to get home for. He's missed Corrie. If it was on tonight's Corrie on a Tuesday, I'm not sure it is. Apparently it was tonight.
What's Corrie?
Oh, he's got the catch-up TV, haven't you? The referee's in no rush to get home. He blows the final whistle. Miserable evening for York City, especially second half. A few boos as York City go down by 4-2, Ian.
Yeah, sorry, there weren't many views because I think everyone in the stadium realises that Barnet they fully deserved that victory. The performance deserved the result that they eventually got, and I think City fans are clever enough to realise that. This has just given Neil Ardley a view of the things he needs to change in this team.
Dean Brennan's having an argument here with Alex Woodyard. Alex Woodyard's trying to move away from it. Dean Brennan's still going on at him, and some of the backroom staff were coming to pull him apart. Now they're still discussing something or other, but I don't know what's got under Dean Brennan's bonnet. Now they're both putting their arms around each other. Bit of an unseemly end to what has been an excellent evening for Barnet.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was about at all. I really haven't. All friends now, though.
They're all friends now after that 4-2 win for the away side. Disappointing. trying to use the right adjective in the second. It was men against boys, Ian.
Yeah, we were chasing shadows for large periods of that second half. First half was relatively even. You knew Barnet were the better of the two sides, but York were in there. Unfortunately, in the second half, the pressure told. Mistakes happened at crucial times, and the team suffered massively from it. And yeah, this is what we have got to aim to be like, because Barnet have got a little bit of everything. They've got work rate, in possession, out of possession, and they've got clinical striker. We've got clinical striker. We need to work on the other two bits.
Yeah, Neil Ardley goes around applauding the York City fans. I'm afraid there's not many York City fans still in the South Stand to applaud back at him as he now makes his way towards the tunnel. York City have been badly beaten here tonight, Sharon. It's finished York City 2, Barnet 4.
Thanks, David, and also to Ian. If you could hear the thumping there, I think that might have been someone clapping while holding a mic. Ian Dunn. Thank you very much. 20 to 10, it's not your radio, it's not interference with that, it's absolutely fine. Thank you if you've been in touch with us so far this evening. If you've got anything to say after that performance, that result from York City, I'd love to hear from you. Text us on 81333. Please start your message with the word York. You can contact us on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, please start your message with the word York. Or you can tweet us. We are at BBC York Sport. We will have a look at what you've been saying in just a few moments' time. Let's start off, though, and bring you the scores from elsewhere this evening. Starting off in the Women's Nations League. Not great news for England tonight. They've lost 2-1 at the Netherlands. Scotland 0, Belgium 1. In fact, it's just changed to be a full-time result. Scotland 1, Belgium 1 is now confirmed as a result. Wales 1, Denmark 5 is also a final score. And I'm just looking for Northern Ireland. There we go. Northern Ireland 1, Albania 0. In the EFL Cup third round, Bradford City 0, Middlesbrough 2. Latest scores, Exeter 1, Luton 0. Ipswich 3, Wolves 2, Mansfield 2, Peterborough United 2, Port Vale 2, Sutton United 1, Salford 0, Burnley 4, Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 0. In the EFL Trophy, Northampton 2, Chelsea under-21s 2, Chelsea winning that 4-3 on penalties. Bolton 8, Manchester United under-21s 1. Barnsley 3, Manchester City under-21s 1, and Burton Albion 2, Everton under-21s 0. Into the National League then. These are nearly all results. I'll tell you the ones that aren't. Fylde 2, Boreham Wood 2. A latest score is Aldershot 1, Southend 1. Bromley 1, Eastleigh 0. Ebbsfleet 0, Dorking 1. Halifax 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. Hartlepool 0, Solihull Moors 2. Kidderminster 1, Oldham 2. A latest score, Maidenhead 0, Altrincham 1. Oxford City 0, Gateshead 4. Wealdstone 1, Woking 0. York City 2, Barnet 4. And a latest score, Rochdale 1, Chesterfield 2. That one after 81 minutes. The other two that's still to finish are heading towards stoppage time. So we'll have a look at the league table in a few minutes once we've got a few more confirmed results that are in there. So don't forget, if you want to get in touch, we'd love to hear from you. 81333. Start your message with the word York on the text. Tweet us at BBC York Sport if you want to get in touch on Twitter or on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Please start your message with the word York, and however you get in touch with us, don't forget to put your name on as well.
Weekday mornings from 6.
Georgie at breakfast.
We're talking about the times that you've discovered that there really is no such thing as a free lunch.
When I was a kid, probably about 7 or 8, I used to spend a lot of time at my grandparents' every weekend. They used to get me to, do a dance or a party piece in the middle of the room or get the clarinet out.
The exact same thing happened at my cousin's house. My mother would push me into the room and she would secretly pack my school trench coat and my school beret, and she would get it out and say, "Go on, do your Frank Spencer."
Georgie at breakfast.
Buddy, you know what I'm talking about.
Weekday mornings from 6.
BBC Radio York.
16 minutes to 10 elsewhere tonight. Pickering Town 2, Galkey United 1 in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division. That's the latest score. And in the First Division, Harrogate Railway were leading 2-0 at home to Clay Cross Town. If I see those confirmed as results, we will let you know what they are. So let's have a look then at what you've been saying. We'll start off on Twitter. Terry says Barnet the much better side, more skillful, more physicality, better in all areas. Neil Adley, he says, has a lot of work to do. Gary on Twitter at BBC York Sport says, looked like we were going to score 6 in the first 10 minutes, then 3 terrible mistakes for the Barnet goals. They were never going to give up the lead. There'll be better days. I think we were doing quite well until the mistakes undid us. James says, really don't think 5-3-2 worked in the second half. It exposed all of our weaknesses and allowed Barnet to play their strengths. Felt like the Morton era again. Need to stick to 4-4-2 until we get better players in and get the chaff out. Let's go back to the ground, the LNER Community Stadium, and rejoin Ian Dunn and David Ward. A change in formation then, James saying, didn't feel it worked.
No, yeah, I think I agree, because it did. I realised why Neil Adley did it at half-time, because we were under pressure. But I actually think I agree with James there. We almost invited that pressure on even more, if you like. And the players, time and time again, have proven that 3 at the back, they seem to struggle to get to grips with. So, yeah, that might have had something to do with it. I'm sure David will ask Neil about that formation change. But I'm almost certain his answer will be because he felt it was coming. I think we all did feel something was coming. It was how long we could hold them out for, Sharon, and ultimately it was mistakes that really undid us. But that change in formation, yeah, I think Neil Adley will have learned something about his players.
I imagine it was to try and get more people into the centre of the park, but we looked even more overrun once they did it than we did in the first half.
We looked up and we just didn't understand how to play that kind of football, and yeah, Barnet's midfield really did. They ran they made. David said we were chasing shadows in the middle of the park, and if you do that for so long in a game, you can only hang on so long. And ultimately, all that pressure, all that possession, Barnet made it pay.
And Dean Brennan's out there already doing his post-match media interviews, Sharon, so that tells you how happy he is. I think we may have something quite different while we wait for Neil Adley.
And of course, you can hear Neil Adley, what he's got to say on BBC Sounds. If we don't get him before 10 o'clock, we will pop the link on to Twitter a little bit later on at BBC York Sport. As I said last week, please be patient with us while we get that sorted out. It's not a quick job to do. It does take a bit of time, so just be patient. It will be there later if you don't hear from him before 10 o'clock. Back to Twitter. Oh dear, says Ian. On a positive note, of our few, I think he said, none of our few defenders got injured, he says. Need to survive these next few tricky fixtures. Wake me up when September ends. Well, that won't be long, Ian, will it? Murray says, dreadful today, apart from the first 10 minutes. Looks like we could use someone like Sam Sanders at the back and someone like Cedric Main up top. Clive says he's a Barnet fan, a great win, keeping the pace at the top. Thanks for the commentary. A tough night for you, he says. Yes, but I think, to be fair, Clive, Ian and David do get used to these kind of things if you are still listening to us. The Eye of York says the difference tonight was pass and move versus negative standstill triangles. On the text, let's have a look at this one. Dave says, quite a long one, this one. He says, well, Barnet, a good side, have a game plan and style of football and understanding, confidence and dominate. What a team working together. Unfortunately, first half, both teams on a level footing. Second half, completely outplayed. York, and as a full-time football club, fell away very tired and heads dropped. No team players, all mentally drained because York aren't a top-tier club mentally, physically and emotionally. Not positive, he says. Very poor York players, shambolic second half, and you should be ashamed of your performance, says Dave. Ardley need to take the blame for his substitution at half-time, says Andy from Huntington. Why change the formation? We were dreadful the second half, not one shot till 89 minutes, very poor. The only positive was Akinyemi, Marsh and Woodward. Dyson, Kuyar and Fallowfield, poor, says Andy. Back at the ground, David.
Yeah, Xander Saziba, that was the half-time change. Wasn't exactly excelling in that first half, Ian. So I could understand why you took him off at half time. And some of the other comments we've had there from our correspondents, we're grateful for everyone getting involved, but coming on and saying that we should have had Cedric Main playing up front, what difference would that have made to that performance tonight, Ian?
No, I actually felt I felt the Dippo up front, he's just outstanding. He's levels above. But I felt the young lad, Ed Mass, I thought he complimented him really well. I agree. You know, there was times in that match where in that early stage of the first half that they really did work well together, and that'll get better. You know, they've only been, Ed Mass only been here less than a week. That will improve. Neil Adley will improve certain players' performance. I think it possibly was, listen, Zaziba wasn't doing a great deal. Did we need to change formation? That'd be my sort of question, but there might be a good reason for that. And it might have been the fear that Barnet were getting a lot of possession, and like you said, David, try and pack that midfield out. unfortunately, it just didn't work in that second half. Barnet had all the answers that York tried to pose in the very early exchanges, but let's be brutally honest, I remember coming down, the start of the second half, Barnet were they were at us, they were in our faces. Their manager set them up second half to have a real go at York City, and boy did they.
My concern is, how do you turn that around with just 2 training sessions between now and Saturday?
Well, you with great difficulty, but you probably strip it back and go back to basics and try and be harder to beat on Saturday. That's going to be no easier game. We know that's going to be a heck of a importantly tough match. Sorry, getting my words mixed up there, but it's going to be a very tough match for Neil Ardley's troops to suddenly turn this performance into something that can upset Solihull. And I think as fans, we've maybe just got to accept that at the moment. It's still very early stages in the Neil Ardley era. He's building blocks, and there's going to be nights like this. And it's just unfortunate now, you look at it, that we've had Barnet tonight, and then, Solihull rolling to town on Saturday, another top team that we're going to have to contend with. I'm pretty sure he will almost think, can we just get these out of the way and then, crack on. So yeah, he knows he's got a big job. That's why he's here. Ultimately, he's here to sort us out.
Any more correspondence, Sharon?
Yeah, we'll go through what else people have been saying in just a second. I'm just going to bring you up to date with the league table. Now every game's done apart from that one that kicked off later. I'll just run through the scores again, all confirmed. Fylde 2, Boreham Wood 2, Aldershot 1, Southend 1, Bromley 1, Eastleigh 0, Ebbsfleet 0, Dorking 1, Halifax 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Hartlepool 0, Solihull Moors 2, Kidderminster 1, Oldham 2, Maidenhead 0, Altrincham 1, Oxford City 0, Gateshead 4, Wealdstone 1, Woking 0, York City 2, Barnet 4, and a latest score, Rochdale 1, Chesterfield 2. That game coming to an end very shortly. So let's have a look at the league table. York City in 20th, just outside the bottom 4 on goal difference. Maidenhead just behind them. And, of course, top of the table, Chesterfield, even though that match is still to finish 2-1. They're way in front at the moment at Chesterfield. Solihull Moors, who are York's opponents on Saturday, are second in the table. Barnet behind them with 26 points, just behind them purely on goal difference. So that is how things look. York City in 20th, just outside the bottom 4 on goal difference. Well, let's get back across to the LNAR Community Stadium and rejoin David Ward.
Well, we've been joined live by York City manager Neil Ardley. Neil, at times, especially in the second half, that looked like men against boys.
Yeah, tough game. Not going to lie, that's probably the best team I've seen in our league this season. I don't know where to sort of start with it. It was first off, we had a game plan. We knew they were going to be 3-4-3 and, very brave with almost 5 up at times and dominate the ball. And first half, we got some of the stuff we worked on wrong, and we ended up sinking back in. I found that it was, although we got in some great moments going forward, we ended up, they were walking into our final third, and we were having to defend for our lives. We tried to change something second half so we could press them higher, get in their faces a bit higher, disrupt the way they wanted to play, and then hopefully get our abilities going forward. But we never quite work. And I think this season, when teams have conceded, we've been very good at getting the lads' mentality to sort of go again. And I think, obviously, it's a little bit of a mistake for the goal. We've turned the ball over and, within 3 or 4 seconds, he shot through someone's legs and it's a goal. But I think from that moment on, we went the other way. Our body language went down, and whether it was that they'd run the legs off us or not, but at that point, our body language went goal. The third goal was poor. Someone out jumps you at the far post, shouldn't happen in your box. And at that point, we kind of sunk into our shells a little bit, and it's always hard when teams have got themselves on top 3-1 up. The game becomes hard, and at that point it did for us. Whereas if we'd have stayed 2-1, reset ourselves, stayed in the game, you never know. There's going to come a time when they're going to try and protect the win. But they're an athletic, powerful, technically very good team, and they were better than us in all areas.
So disappointing as well when you got off to such a good start.
Yeah, strange, because the first sort of 6-8 minutes was what we worked on yesterday. We worked on our 2 centre forwards peeling in between their wing backs and their outside centre halves. Depot got in this left channel loads of times. The goal, Depot got in the right channel. When we broke, we got Xander and Maz into great little areas in the pockets. And in the first 6 or 8 minutes, it worked really well. But then after that, we stepped off it a little bit. They got a bit of control, and and we found it tough, and that's why we felt we had to change something, because at half-time there was only one team going to win. What we changed didn't work. Was it tactical? I don't know, but I think in the end they were too good for us.
Yeah, why do you think it didn't work, that tactical change at half-time? Because I can't remember a long time since a side I think has probably come to York City and had as much possession as they had in that second 45.
I think, as you know, we worked very, very hard without the ball for 65 minutes, and lads put a big shift in. At that point, I was very happy with the way that we was defending, but not with the way that we was passing the ball. And sometimes you get in that mode where the opposition are pinning you back in, and their movement and their rotation's good, and you end up, when you win it back, you haven't got the legs or the openness in your play to get your passes in. And you know, it's been hard because we haven't really been able to totally develop. The games are becoming too thick and fast, our style. But how they play, not so much the shape, but how they play is exactly what I want to try and encourage us to do, with rotations, with movements, with bravery, with runners. But we're not there yet. They're ahead of us, and they were better than us, and they were too good for us tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they had 12 men on the pitch at times, didn't it, against your 11. You mentioned Depot and his 2 goals. I suppose he's one of the main positives to come out of tonight. When he gets in front of goal, he looks like he'll score virtually every time.
Yeah, listen, Depot's a good player. We know he's a good player and a threat, but I'm more worried about the team. I'm not going to worry about whether Depot's got goals and scoring. I'm more worried about the team and picking up points. Today we got given a bit of a lesson. You know, there's no excuses. Where the boys are struggling a bit in there. We had probably 3 players before the game with diarrhoea. It's gone through the camp. There was another 3 in there with stomach cramps and diarrhoea. So, unfortunately, once you've named the squad, they've got to go out and play, and they're suffering a little bit in there. But there's no excuse. I just think a really fit, strong, athletic team with a way of playing has kind of overrun us today.
Is that why Lenny wasn't involved tonight?
No, Lenny's had a personal family thing that you know, family has to come first. So, unfortunately, Lenny has to be with his family today.
Will Smith, was he a positive to come out of that?
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I think, you know, last season he played at Scunthorpe. He come back from a long-term injury, and it showed a little bit. I thought he looked really fit and sharp today, and you know, I think it was unlucky for him to be playing in his first game against such a good team. But we've got another good team coming on Saturday who are unbeaten. They're coming thick and fast, but we just, you know, I'm not going to batter the boys. You know, not going to say anything other than, you know, we got beaten by a better team today, and it was a little bit of a lesson, and our heads dropped at 2-1, and that caused the scoreline to end up running away from us.
You see the players obviously a lot more than the rest of us do, but after watching a performance like that, does that highlight in your mind which sort of players may not be good enough as you want to take this team forward?
No, I'm not looking at players. We're not a top 3 or 4 team in this league, and that's not me being nasty to the players. We're just not. We're down the bottom for a reason, because we haven't got a balance about our team and a quality in our team that perhaps a Barnet or a Chesterfield have at the moment. You know, they're ahead of us, and we've got to try and get there, and that won't happen overnight. As I've said before, my job in the short term, while we're trying to grow the club and get things better, is to try and pick up points, which we've done to a degree. But you know, today the scoreline hurts, the performance, the fact that they were miles better than us hurts. But there's no point looking back on that now and me going after the players or anything like that. I've just got to pick them up. We've got to try and get some of the illness out of the camp and the bodies back, and we've got to try and find a way of putting in a good performance on Saturday.
Has it made it even harder now as you prepare for Saturday? Because you do have those 2 jobs. You've got to concentrate on Solihull, but you've also got to somehow get some belief back into your side. Yeah,
I think we'll get the belief back in the side. I just think, you know, the boys, we just need to get them physically right, you know, and whether that's with the boys who are ill, whether it's giving them an extra day off, I don't know. But we just look at it, and you know, they've got to look. I've just told them, try and look after yourselves, do the best you can, you know. Try and get some food inside them if they can, and try and get your recovery started. And we'll count the bodies Thursday, and we'll get ready to go next week. But like I say, fans are brilliant. They stuck with us. You know, I think they'll probably go away saying Barnet are the best team they've seen. We had flashes of good stuff, but in the end, they were, you know, too good in all areas for us.
Well, commiserations tonight. Thanks for coming to talk
to
us so quickly.
Cheers.
York City manager Neil Ardley live on BBC Radio Yorkshire.